All right. All right. You folks have a seat. All right, good morning. I'm Commissioner Pronko. This is the 8 a.m. initial appearance calendar for April 26, 2025. The court's orders for the taking of DNA and fingerprints that were made on the first calendar of this month will apply to all matters on this calendar as well. All right, when you hear your name, please step up to the podium that's in the center of the courtroom in here. At the end of your hearing today, you are going to be receiving paperwork that will cover everything we go over in here. So that's going to include your next court dates, as well as all of your release conditions. For those of you who will be out of custody prior to your next court date, I do recommend contacting the court in advance of that date so you can verify your hearing details. Please keep in mind you have the right to remain silent. Everything you say in the courtroom is being recorded, both audio and video, and could be used in a future court proceeding. All right, we are going to begin today with Dan Duarte. After that, it's going to be Tamiki Owens. State your full name and date of birth, please.
Giancarlo Garcia, 425-1999.
All right, thank you, ma'am. So you are here for a direct complaint that's been filed. So this is for charges of 1 count of possession of narcotic drugs, class 4 felony, 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia, class 6 felony. The date of offense for those is March 31 of 2023. So in this matter, the Public Defender's Office has been appointed to represent you. Your court dates are going to be a status conference. I'm sorry, it's actually the Legal Defender's Office that's been appointed. The court dates are a status conference May 1st at 8:30 with an evidentiary hearing May 2nd at 1:30 and a preliminary hearing May 5th at 8:30, and those are all going to be at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. So I do show you are already currently in custody. Was that in a probation matter?
Yes.
That you're serving time for? Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So in this case, even though it's a 2023 case, you were actually on felony release in the matter that you're now on probation for, okay? But because you were on felony release on the date of this offense, I do have to hold you without bond at this time for this matter. Either way, you're not leaving custody since you're serving the time in the probation case. So it doesn't change your overall position here. But that is why we set that evidentiary hearing. So when you go in on May 2nd for the evidentiary hearing, that's where they address the non-bondable status for this case, okay? All right, does that make sense?
Yes.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and provide you with some paperwork that'll have all that information in it as well, but do you have any questions for me?
No, thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, so Mr. Owen, Abdullah Saba will be up next. All right, state your full name and date of birth.
July 31st, 1974.
All right, thank you, sir. So you are here for a new case out of the Maricopa County Superior Court. The 2 counts that I was able to find probable cause on here today is 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia. That's a class 6 felony, and 1 count of resisting arrest. That's also a class 6 felony. There were 2 additional counts that I did not find probable cause on, which doesn't necessarily mean they're going away, but they did not provide me with enough information. That is 1 count of possession of narcotic drugs and 1 count of possession of dangerous drugs. So in this matter, the Public Defender's Office has been appointed. You do have a status conference set May 1st at 8:30, evidentiary hearing May 2nd at 1:30, and a preliminary hearing May 5th at 8:30. And those are all going to be at the Superior Court located in downtown Phoenix. So in this matter, I do show that you are also on felony release, and that's in CR 2024-127133. Looks like you're pending sentencing in that matter. But because you were on felony release in this case, or in that case at the time this new offense allegedly occurred and probable cause was found on those 2 counts, you are required at this time to be held without bond. So you're not eligible for release on the new charges. So that is why we set that evidentiary hearing. That's the court date on May 2nd. That's the date I'm required to set here today pursuant to rule in order to allow the court to review that release condition, okay? Do you have any questions regarding that?
No.
All right, if you want to go ahead and step over, we'll provide you with some paperwork as well, but you can go ahead and have a seat at this time. All right, so we've got Mr. Saba, and then after that, Maria Garcia.
How's it going, Your Honor?
All right, sir, your full name and date of birth.
Abdullah Saba,
10/28/2004.
All right, thank you, sir. So you've got two separate cases here today. So the first one that we'll start with is going to be the new matter that just came in. This is for new charges that have been submitted in Superior Court. That is for one count of fraudulent schemes, Class 2 felony, one count of trafficking, also a Class 2 felony, and then three total counts of theft. Two of those are Class 3 felonies, and one is a Class 4 felony. The dates of offense in this matter range between December 2nd to December 18, 2024, and then April 25th of 2025. So in this matter, the Public Defender's Office has been appointed. You do have a status conference set on May 1st at 8:30, evidentiary hearing May 2nd at 1:30, preliminary hearing May 5th at 8:30. Those are all going to be at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. I show you are also on felony release in another matter. That's actually the other case we have here today. I show you are also on felony release in another matter, which is the other case we have here on the calendar today. That's CR 2025-115284. Because you were on felony release in that matter, at the time this new offense allegedly occurred, or at least one of the dates of offense in the new offense occurred, you are required under Arizona law to be held without bond at this time. That means you are not eligible for release on those new charges that just came in. Again, that is why we set those evidentiary hearings. That's the court date I'm required to set here today, pursuant to rule, in order to allow the court to review that. Because if they were to continue to hold you without bond at that point, they would have to make some additional legal findings. Your next case is that open felony matter that I just cited. So in that case, it is here because a bench warrant was issued for a failure to appear. So you have the same court dates now in this matter, which is the status conference May 1, preliminary hearing May 5th. And in that matter, the bond and the warrant's been affirmed. That is a $1,000 secured appearance bond. We will give you paperwork for each individual case, so I'll have that information. But did you have a question regarding either one of them?
Yes, ma'am. So I called the court. I was going to go in the court date to the court. I have it on my phone. I have all the proof. They told me I don't have court.
You're talking about your open felony case, and you can certainly speak with your attorney about any concerns you have regarding the warrant that was issued in this matter, but it's not going to change your outcome here today because you have a no bond hold.
Okay. So how long do you think I'll be held with that bond? Because I've never,
You've got some court dates set here. Those will be the times when you'll meet with your attorney. They'll be able to give you that information, hopefully, or at least give you some more information. The evidentiary hearing that was set, that's the court date specifically set to address that condition. What's going to happen after that, I don't know. I can't tell you. Okay?
Thank you so much.
All right, if you want to go ahead and step over, though, you can go ahead and have that paperwork over there. We've got Maria Garcia, and then Sherolanda Begay will be up after that. Ms. Garcia, I'm going to state your full name and date of birth.
Maria Elena Garcia, March 18, 1982.
All right, thank you. So you have three separate cases here today. All three of these are your probation matters. They're all on the calendar because a warrant was issued for a petition to revoke filed in each one that alleges a violation of terms 3, 4, and 5 of your probation terms. So in each of these cases, the Public Defender's Office has been appointed. You have a revocation arraignment hearing set on May 2nd at 8:30. That's going to be at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. Now, in one of these probation matters, that's the CR 2019-105530, in that matter, this is a non-bailable warrant. In other words, you are going to be held in custody without bond in that matter, okay? That's pursuant to Rule 7.2 and 27.7 of the Arizona Rules of Criminal Procedure. You do have two other matters here. These do have bonds in them, so I've just affirmed the bonds in those warrants. So the first one is a $2,500 secured appearance bond. The last one is a $100 secured appearance bond. So even though you do have bonds in those two additional cases, as long as you've got that no bond hold in the one probation matter, just keep those other bonds in place. That way they know you're in custody in all three. That could impact your credit for time served down the road if that becomes an issue, okay? Do you have any questions regarding any of these cases? All right, if you want to go and step over, you can go ahead and have a seat at this time. All right, so we're going to have Sherolanda Begay. After that, it's going to be Norman Stephen. Hi, ma'am. Your full name and date of birth.
Sherolanda Begay, 6/23/83.
All right, thank you. So you are here for 4 separate cases. I'll go ahead and start with the new matter you were just brought in on. This is going to be for a new case in Superior Court. The charges here are 1 count of shoplift is a Class 4 felony. Now, in that matter, the Public Defender's Office has been appointed to represent you. Your court dates you have here are a status conference on May 1st with a preliminary hearing May 5th, both at 8:30. Those will be at the Superior Court located in downtown Phoenix. So in this case, I did take a look at your history, which already includes a number of prior failures to appear, including 5 within the last 3 years. I also noted you are currently on probation in 3 separate matters, which are also on the calendar today, and 2 of those are also felony shoplift cases. For that reason, you do have a bond in this matter. That is a $10,000 secured appearance bond. Your orders are going to include that you are not to return to the scene of the offense or have any contact with any complainant or witness in this matter, and if you do postpone and are released from custody, you do need to contact probation within 72 hours of your release. So your next 3 cases here are those probation matters. The reason we have those on the calendar is because a Term 1 violation has been submitted for each of them. So it's the new offense. That's what triggered that. So in each of those matters, the revocation arraignment hearing is set May 2nd at 8:30, and the public defender is appointed there as well. Each of those cases has a $500 secured appearance bond, so it's $11,500 total for all 4 matters. All right. I'm sorry?
Altogether?
Altogether. Yeah, that's for all 4. Okay. Do you have any questions, though, regarding these cases?
The secured bond?
It is a secured appearance bond. You are able to work with a bail bonding company.
Okay.
You'll have access to phones in the back if you want to give them a call to see what you could arrange.
Okay.
Okay?
Right.
All right. If you want to go ahead and step over, you can go ahead and pick up that paperwork over there. Have a seat. Thank you. All right. So we have Norman Steven, and then after that, it's going to be Joseph Kowaleski. Hi, Mr. Steven. Go and state your full name and date of birth.
July 15th, 1958.
All right. And your full name.
Norman Arthur Stephan.
All right. Thank you, sir. So you are here for a bond surrender. In other words, you were out on bond in your matter CR 2025-116537, but they have since taken you in to pull that bond, so that's the reason you're in front of us here today. So in this case, we did go ahead and set that status conference again on May 1st at 8:30. We normally don't set a preliminary hearing for a bond surrender case, but I think you actually missed your first date anyway, so we'll go ahead and set both. So that's a preliminary hearing May 5th at 8:30 at the Superior Court as well. In this case, you're basically going to go back to square one, okay? You still have a $5,000 bond in this matter. That's a secured appearance bond. That is still the amount that you would have to post to be released prior to your next court date. All right, do you have any questions regarding that?
No, ma'am.
All right, if you want to step over, you can go and pick up that paperwork that's over there. All right, so we've got Joseph Kowaleski. After that, it'll be Tanya Meyer. All right, so your full name and date of birth.
It's Joseph Kowaleski, 10/11/1980.
All right, thank you, sir. So you've got 2 separate cases here today. I'm going to go ahead and start with a new case. This one is going to be out of Superior Court, and that is for 1 count of possession of dangerous drugs, a Class 4 felony, 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia, Class 6 felony, and 1 count of an open container of liquor in a vehicle. That's a Class 2 misdemeanor. The only count I was able to find probable cause on here today is that misdemeanor count involving the open container. That doesn't necessarily mean those 2 felony counts are going away, but because I was not able to find probable cause, I can't proceed on them here today. So the public defender's office has been appointed. You do still have court dates here in Superior Court. That's the status conference May 1 with the preliminary hearing May 5th, both at 8:30. Those will be at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. Now, primarily because you are going to have a hold in your second case because you've got a warrant here out of a separate court entirely. You do have a placeholder bond in this matter. That's a $50 secured appearance bond. So I'm putting that in place. So just in case you don't post a second warrant, they do know you're in custody in both matters. So your second case that you have here, that's the warrant I was just referring to. This is for a warrant that was issued out of the Peoria Municipal Court for CR 2020-00211. So in that matter, an arraignment hearing's been set on April 29 at 9 a.m. That'll take place at the Peoria Municipal Court, the address of which will be included in your paperwork. And in this matter, the bond in their warrant has been affirmed. So this one's a $2,200 secured appearance bond. So it ends up being $2,250 total for both.
Okay.
All right. Do you have any questions regarding these 2 matters?
The second charge, is it my contractor? The contractor is...
It is not. It's DUI charges from March 15 of 2024. I don't know anything else other than that. It lists the charges in the warrant. That's it.
That's from a charge from 2018.
I'm only giving you what I have here in front of me. Yeah, this is a case that's being handled by the Peoria Municipal Court.
Okay.
So they've issued that warrant in here, and I believe we had...
That's when the warrant was issued, was in 24. I think the case is from 2018.
And that could be. That could be. Yeah, it does say that the warrant is still valid. So, I mean, they are still confirming this warrant in this case. So
Okay.
we do have to honor that here today. Again, we're not the Peoria Municipal Court. We only see them on their warrants when you come in.
So what do I need to do? There's a bond on
There
that?
is a bond, yeah. There's a $2,200 bond in that matter.
Okay. So,
If you have questions about how to post the bond or we're working with a bonding company, you'll have to do that in the back. So the next room you go to is you're gonna have phones available to you so you can use those.
done. Yeah, thank you.
Okay?
All right.
If you want to go ahead and step over, you can go ahead and have a seat. Thank you, sir.
All right.
All right, so we have Tanya Meyer and then Iverson Lewis. All right, your full name and date of birth?
Tanya Marie Meyer, date of birth is 8/18/82.
All right, thank you, ma'am. So you are here for an out-of-county warrant. This is for a warrant that was issued out of the Prescott Justice Court. So that is for a charging document that was issued out of that county, alleging 1 count of burglary in the 3rd degree, 1 count of theft, and 1 count of criminal damage. So in that matter, an arraignment hearing is set on April 30 at 8:30. That'll be at the Prescott Justice Court. The address will be included in your paperwork. So the bond in their warrant has been affirmed. That's a $1,500 secured appearance bond. You've got the additional terms here that you are not to return to the scene of any offense, not have any contact with any alleged victim, complainant, or witness in this matter. I don't know what you're already in on, so I don't know if you're currently still in custody in another matter. Okay. So if you are still in custody, it's entirely possible that date could change since it's only 4 days from now.
Yeah.
So if you're still dealing with something here in Maricopa County, that date might change until after you're done with that. I don't know if that's going to happen. I just want to give you a heads up in case it does.
Yeah, because I'm here until July 14th. So,
Okay,
but I was trying to get this matter. I talked to my probation officer, and she told me yes. Well, I'll see if I can't get something going so we can get it taken care of. But
yeah, at least you've got the wheels in motion to get it taken care of. But yeah, I just don't know that you're actually going to be transported there until after you're done with your term here. But it's not up to me.
Perfect.
Okay.
Perfect.
All right, if you want to go ahead and step over, you can go ahead and pick up that
Thank you.
paperwork. Thank you, ma'am. All right, so we've got Iverson Lewis, and after that, William McKenna. Hi, Mr. Lewis. If you could state your full name and date of birth, sir.
Ivan Lewis, 31481.
All right, thank you. So you are here for a probation violation warrant. It is for a petition to revoke that was filed alleging a violation of 3, 4, and 5, and 15 of your probation term. So the public defender's office has been appointed. You do have a revocation arraignment hearing May 2nd at 8:30. That's going to be at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. The bond in that warrant has been affirmed. That is a $1,000 secured appearance bond. If you do post bond and are released from custody, you're still on supervised probation. You do still need to abide by those terms, which does include contacting them within 72 hours. Do you have any questions regarding that? All right, sir, if you want to go ahead and step over, you can go ahead and have a seat at this time. Thank you. All right, so we've got William McKenna. After that, it's going to be Tyler Northern.
Come on.
Now, Mr. McKenna, go ahead and state your full name and date of birth.
William Sean Pinnon Jr., 96.
All right, thank you. So you've got 2 separate cases here today. Each of these are going to be for probation violation warrants that were issued for petitions to revoke filed in both of your probation matters alleging a violation of terms 4, 5, and 15. The public defender's office has been appointed to represent you. You currently have a revocation arraignment hearing May 2nd at 8:30. That's going to be at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. In this matter, I do show that you're currently on IPS for your level of supervision. The bond in each warrant has been affirmed. Each of those has a $750 secured appearance bond, so it's $1,500 total for both. Since you're on IPS for the level of supervision, that does mean you would need to contact probation within 24 hours rather than 72, okay? Do you have any questions regarding that?
No, what does that mean?
What does what mean?
Am I getting released?
You've got 2 bonds. You've got 2 bonds in the amount of $750. So the total is $1,500 for both matters, and that is the amount that you would have to post in order to be released prior to your next court date. These are secured appearance bonds. You are able to work with a bail bonding company if you can, but that's something you would have to look up in the back. You'd have to contact them to see what you could arrange there. Okay? All right, if you want to go ahead and step over, you can go ahead and have a seat at this time. All that information will be provided in your paperwork as well. All right, so we have Tyler Northern and then Anaya Davis will be up after that. All right, so your full name and date of birth?
Tyler Andrew Northern, 05/29/1992.
All right, thank you, sir. So you are here for a probation violation warrant as well. In your matter, there was a petition to revoke filed alleging a violation of terms 3 and 5. The public defender's office has been appointed. We do have a revocation arraignment hearing May 2nd at 8:30. And in that matter, the bond and the warrant's been affirmed, which is a $150 secured appearance bond. So that's the amount you'd have to post to be released prior to your next court date. Looks like you were also arrested on another warrant, so that would be out of a separate court. That would be a completely separate issue. I'm just giving you a heads up on that because you might still have to see another judge. So that would be a different bond, okay?
Okay.
Do you have any questions regarding that?
I just have like a question, like, does that mean I'm going to be stuck in jail for a little while?
So if you're unable to post the bond, then you would remain in custody in this matter, at least until that May 2nd court date. That's when you're going to go in front of the probation judge who's handling your case.
Okay.
Okay, and they'll make all further determinations regarding your release conditions.
Okay.
Okay? If you want to go and step over, though, you can go and pick up that paperwork there so you can have a seat. All right, so we have Ms. Davis. After that, Daniel Straub. Hi, ma'am, your full name and date of birth?
Hi, 08/10/2002.
All right, thank you. So you are here, and is it Anaya Davis? Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. You are here for a warrant that was issued. This is for a direct complaint that's been filed, I believe. It alleges 1 count of possession of dangerous drugs. That's a Class 4 felony. 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia, Class 6 felony. 1 count of criminal trespass in the 1st degree, which is also a Class 6 felony. Now, the date of offense for all of these is December 6th of 2024. The public defender's office has been appointed. You do have a status conference set May 1st with a preliminary hearing May 5th, both at 8:30, and those are in the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix.
Okay.
So I know you're already in probation violation proceedings. I did take a look at your docket, so I know you've got some ongoing hearings in that matter. So in this case, what I've done is I reduced the bond down to a $50 bond, so that's a $50 cash only appearance bond. I'm putting that in place because I want to make sure they know you're in custody in this matter as well. That way you get transported to all your court dates that could also potentially impact your time served
Thank you
down
so
the road.
much. Yeah, because I said thank you so much because I'm actually trying to bond out, so this is like hectic.
All right, yeah. So, and then unfortunately, you would have to set the $50 bond too if you bond out in that probation.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, if you want to go and step over, all your release conditions will be contained in there as well. All right, so we have Daniel Straub, and then after, I'm sorry. Let me refresh this. It's probably changed. All right, so strike that. It's going to be Alyssa Pena with Leah Espindola up after that. All right, your full name and date of birth?
Alessandra Pena, 10/13/99.
All right, thank you. So you are here for a warrant that was issued out of the Town of Fountain Hills Municipal Court. Looks like it was issued while you were in custody in your other matter. So in this case, an arraignment hearing's been set on May 14 at 9 a.m. That'll be at the Town of Fountain Hills Municipal Court. It looks like you were released in your open felony case yesterday when you were in front of the judge. Am I correct on that?
Yes, I'm actually supposed to be released on an ankle monitor.
Okay.
So if this can be...
So I'm releasing you in this one, okay? I recognize you were in custody at the time the warrant was issued. I just wanted to make sure you didn't have any other holds.
No, I don't.
I did review the docket, and it did look like the judge had granted your motion to modify release.
Yeah, I think I put the motion in like a couple of days right before I got arrested or whatever, and it finally got to him while I was in custody.
Okay, so here's what's going to happen. You are being released on your own recognizance. That is going to be your promise to appear. I did put in here that the warrant was issued while you were in custody in another matter, but you do need to make sure you do appear at that May 14 court date in order to ensure that another warrant doesn't get issued at that time, okay?
Okay.
All right, if you want to step over, though, we'll get you paperwork that has that in it as well.
Thank you.
All right, so we have Leah Espindola, and then Eduardo Maciel will be up next. Hi, ma'am. Your full name and date of birth?
Leah Marie Espindola, 12/2/05.
All right. Thank you. So you are here for a new case out of the Goodyear Municipal Court. The charges here are 2 counts of shoplifting. Those are both Class 1 misdemeanors. So in this matter, you're not entitled to court-appointed counsel due to the nature of the charge since this is a misdemeanor offense, but you do have the right to retain an attorney to represent you in this case. An arraignment hearing is set on May 14 at 1 p.m. That'll be at the Goodyear Municipal Court. You'll get the address for the court in your paperwork. You are being released today on your own recognizance. It is going to be your promise to appear. You do have the additional terms that you are not to return to the scene of the offense, can't go back to that store, can't have any contact with any complainant or witness involved in the matter. Do you have any questions regarding that?
No, ma'am.
All right, go and step over and go and pick up that paperwork over there. All right, so we have Eduardo, Maciel, and then Nathaniel Neville will be up next. All right, so your full name and date of birth?
Eduardo Maciel, 5/20/1990.
All right, thank you. So you are here for a new case out of the Goodyear Municipal Court. And this is for one count of disorderly conduct, a Class 1 misdemeanor. In this matter, you're not entitled to court-appointed counsel due to the nature of the charge because it's a misdemeanor offense that does not otherwise qualify for court-appointed counsel. But you do have the right to retain an attorney to represent you in this matter.
Okay.
An arraignment hearing is set on May 14 at 1 p.m. That's going to be at the Goodyear Municipal Court. You'll get the address in your paperwork.
Okay.
In this case, you are being released on your own recognizance. It is going to be your promise to appear. You do have the additional orders, though, that you are not to have any contact with any alleged victim, complainant, or witness involved in this matter, and not to return to the scene of the offense.
Okay.
Do you have any questions regarding that?
No.
All right, if you want to go and step over, you go and pick up that paperwork there. All right, so we have Nathaniel Neville, and then Brandon Poole will be up next.
Hello, Judge. Good morning.
All right, good morning, sir. If you could state your full name and date of birth.
Nathaniel Lewis Neville, January 6, 1993.
All right, thank you. So you've got a warrant issued out of the Patterson Municipal Court. Their case number is TR 2023-0100. This is, let me finish and I'll let you talk if you have any questions, okay? This is an initial arrest warrant that was issued in this matter. In other words, it's not a failure to appear warrant. It's a warrant that was issued in lieu of a summons. Okay. The charges here are 2 counts of DUI, both Class 1 misdemeanors, with an offense date of September 13 of 2023. So in this case, you are entitled to court-appointed counsel due to the nature of the charge, but that is going to be handled by the Tolleson Municipal Court. So they will handle that and address that at your next court date out there, which is going to be an arraignment hearing May 12th at 8:30 at the Tolleson Municipal Court. The address will be included in your paperwork. Since it is an initial arrest warrant, you are being released here today on your own recognizance. It is going to be your promise to appear at all future court dates.
Okay.
Did you have a question regarding this?
Yeah, because I was in DLC custody, and I'm guessing I got out with this warrant. I was unaware until I just got pulled over, and they told me. I was like, what the hell? So,
I'm not saying it was a knowing failure to appear or anything. It is a warrant that they issued because they didn't know where else you were. So what they do is if they can't get the summons to you in order to have you appear in their court, they issue a warrant instead. Okay? And that's likely what happened in this case.
Okay.
Okay? All right. If you want to go and step over, you can go and pick up that paperwork over there. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So we have Brandon Poole, Bertha O'Connell will be up next. Hi, Mr. Poole. If you could state your full name and date of birth, sir.
Brandon Cornell Poole, 02/25/1990.
All right, thank you. So you are here for a new case out of the University Lakes Justice Court. This is for 1 count of criminal trespass in the 2nd degree, which is a Class 2 misdemeanor. So in this matter, you are not entitled to court-appointed counsel due to the nature of the charge. It's here, since it is a misdemeanor offense, it doesn't otherwise qualify. You do have the right to retain an attorney to represent you in this matter. So in this case, an arraignment hearing's been set May 13 at 1:30. That would be at the University Lakes Justice Court. You are being released on your own recognizance. It is going to be your promise to appear. You just still have the same terms. You cannot return to that location. Okay? Any questions regarding that? All right. If you want to go and step over, you go and pick up that paperwork over there. We've got Bertha O'Connell and then Christopher Jones up next. If you end up getting the interpreter on the line earlier, we'll just call that matter out of order. Since we've got that last matter, we'll need to use language line. We can actually do that too. She needs an interpreter? Okay, then we'll have her have a seat and we'll take care of her matter when we do the interpreter matter. That's fine. We can call that matter first and then do the interpreter matter after, since we have 2 of them. That was Ms. O'Connor that needs it, right? Yeah, Ms. O'Connor needs the interpreter too. All right, so then we've got Christopher Jones, and then after that, Janina Simmons-Williams. All right, Mr. Jones, go and state your full name and date of birth.
Christopher Jones, 7862.
All right, thank you, sir. So you've got two separate cases here today. I'm going to go ahead and start with a new matter that just came in. This is going to be for a new case in Superior Court. This is alleging one count of possession of dangerous drugs, which is a Class 4 felony, and one count of possession of drug paraphernalia, that is a Class 6 felony. So in this matter, the Public Defender's Office has been appointed. You do have a status conference set May 12th at 8:30 with a preliminary hearing May 14th at 8:30. Those are going to be at the Superior Court located in downtown Phoenix. I don't show that you have any prior felony convictions. I also show that any history you do have, which is your misdemeanor history, is 2016 and older. So for that reason, I am going to follow the PSA recommendation. You are being released on your own recognizance. It is going to be your promise to appear. You do have a second case here, which is the warrant that was issued for the direct complaint that was filed. So in this matter, the charges are one count of possession of dangerous drugs, Class 4 felony, and one count of possession of drug paraphernalia, which is a Class 6 felony, and those have an offense date of April 28 of 2024. So in that matter, that direct complaint I do show was not served upon you. It looks like the summons did not make it because it was sent back return mail. So I don't show you necessarily received notice of the first hearing set in that matter. So I'm going to be doing the same thing here, where you have the Public Defender's Office representing you. You do have two court dates, which are the status conference May 12th and the preliminary hearing May 14th. And you also have the same release conditions in this matter. You do have a release on your own recognizance, which is, again, your promise to appear. I do need to make an edit to one of your paperwork here because for some reason it does say a probation notice, which I don't have for you. So I'm going to go ahead and have that signed again. We'll get that paperwork out to you in just a moment, though, if you want to go ahead and have a seat. Do you have any questions?
No.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, so it's just number 31 that we have to reprint. We'll reprint one of his paperwork. Yeah. All right, so we've got Ms. Williams. All right, ma'am, your full name and date of birth?
Shanina Simmons Williams, 04/23/2002.
Thank you. So you are here for a warrant issued out of the Goodyear Municipal Court. That's in their case number TR 2024-470. So in that matter, an arraignment hearing's been set on May 14 at 1 p.m. That'll be at the Goodyear Municipal Court.
Yes, ma'am.
This is a failure to pay warrant that was issued out of that court for your driving on a suspended license.
Yes, ma'am.
Which means you have a fine there that was not taken care of, which
Yes,
is why
ma'am.
they issued the warrant. Since it is a failure to pay post-adjudication warrant, I am going to release you on your own recognizance to appear at that next court date.
Yes, ma'am.
So you just need to make sure you show up on that May 14 court date or another warrant could issue at that time.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, any questions?
Could you tell me how much the ticket is, or would I have to call and see?
You would need to call the court to see. I can let you know
because it's just for the suspended license, correct?
It's a suspended license case, yeah. The warrant itself was $935. That was the bond they had in the warrant, which is often with the fine. You know, they often make it around that same amount of the fine, but I can't tell you if that's the case or not.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, you need to contact the court.
Okay, no, that's fine.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, so we have Christopher Stasser.
How you doing, Judge?
And then I think we'll do Mr. Martinez before we call our last matter. Mr. Stasser, go ahead and state your full name, your date of
Christopher
birth.
Michael Stacer, 9/15/83.
All right, thank you, sir. So you're here for a new case out of the Maricopa County Superior Court. The charges that were submitted here today are 2 counts of possession of dangerous drugs for sale, a Class 2 felony, 1 count of possession of narcotic drugs for sale, a Class 2 felony, and 1 count of possession of marijuana for sale. They actually have that listed as a Class 2 misdemeanor, which is incorrect. That's actually a felony offense.
Yeah.
So in this matter, I don't show you're entitled to court-appointed counsel based on the information received here. You do, of course, have the right to retain an attorney on your own behalf to represent you.
Yeah.
If you believe that's incorrect, then you should be entitled to court-appointed counsel.
They've asked me if I wanted, a public defender, and I said, for now, yes, but I'm going to hire my own attorney eventually here.
Okay, because the determination that you have isn't just whether you want one, it's whether you financially qualify.
Oh, I qualify for for an actual lawyer, that's why.
Okay, all right, I'm going to leave everything as is then right now, okay? With respect to the charges that came in here for you, I was not able to find probable cause on what was submitted to the court today.
Okay.
I did review the probable cause statement that was contained within the Form 4 2024 and did find that it did not adequately provide enough information regarding the drugs that were alleged to have been identified here. This
Okay.
does not mean this case is going
Oh, no,
forward,
of course
okay?
not. No.
So it is just that I did not have enough information to proceed here today. I did put in my notes here, we did receive supplemental reports from the state in this matter with the hopes to assist us, but that did not contain any additional information that was able to help us with probable cause either.
Okay.
So I'm still setting court dates here for you.
Sure.
Still have a status conference set May 12th with a preliminary hearing May 14th, both at 8:30. It's
Okay.
going to be at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. Because I am not able to set, or because I'm not able to find probable cause, I cannot set any release conditions. So you are being released without any conditions being imposed in this
So
matter.
I'm OR basically. In a
Pretty
sense.
much it's the same thing, but
Yeah.
at the same time, there's just no terms.
Okay, so the
I can't
12th
hold
and
you.
14th is when I start going to court.
May 12th is going to be your first court date
Okay.
that you have here.
All right.
I always, of course, recommend contacting the court in advance to verify your hearing
Sure.
details ahead of time.
Okay, thank you
All
so
right.
much.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
All right, so let's do, I guess before we do our interpreter matter, we'll go ahead and handle your matter. Are you ready to go with that then? Okay, so this is going to be for Dustin Martineau. All right, Mr. Garcia, are you able to hear me okay?
Yes, Your Honor. Yes. Thank you.
Oh, wait one moment. Can we do, have everyone else that's done? Can we have everyone else that's done removed? Yeah, thank you. All right, sir, go ahead and state your full name and your date of birth.
Dustin Dwayne Martineau, November 6, 1976.
All right, thank you. And we'll start with defense counsel.
Good morning, Your Honor. Christina Matthews on behalf of Mr. Martineau.
All right, thank you. Mr. Garcia, I don't know, did you already state your appearance? I missed it if you did.
Thank you, Your Honor. Stephen Garcia on behalf of the state. Good morning, everybody.
All right, good morning. All right, Ms. Matthews, I did receive your notice of appearance. It looks like it does not state it's a limited notice. So are you representing Mr. Martineau for future court dates as well?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and reflect that in here. If you give me just one moment to do that. All right, and Ms. Matthews, did you have an opportunity to review the Form 4 in this matter?
I did, Your Honor.
Okay. The court has been in receipt of the Form 4 as well, which did contain a probable cause statement found in this matter. I will let both counsel know that at this time, I did find that there was probable cause for the charge that was submitted there. That's one count of vulnerable adult abuse as a Class 3 felony. The offense date here that was submitted is October 16, 2024, at least on or about that date. But if there is any issues that either counsel want to address with respect to probable cause, I'm certainly happy to hear it at this point.
Your Honor, I just wanted to note that around this time when the police were called, this was in October of 2024, they did call the state. The state came out, investigated the residence, and found it to be suitable, found everything to be fine, number one. Number two, Mr. Martineau had left the residence for a short period of time, but there is evidence that he was coming back daily to care for his mother, who is the alleged victim in this case. I would also note that the neighbors in this case, who I believe are the complaining witnesses, they want the land that is attached to the home, and we believe that that's the motive for reporting these alleged crimes. But I just wanted to make sure I made that record because of the probable cause determination.
All right, thank you. And that's not going to change anything here today with respect to just the probable cause finding. Based on the information submitted, I did find that it at least met both either negligent or reckless as far as the statute was. And that's a pretty broad language statute as far as the care and neglect of vulnerable adults. So probable cause has been found in this matter, but we do still need to address release conditions, which I know both parties are likely to want to address. I'm going to go ahead and start with the state, who I knew did submit a written recommendation, but Mr. Garcia, I'll let you go ahead and put that on record.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, I understand defense counsel avowing to the court that there does seem to be some bias from the neighbors. That is yet to be seen. But regardless of that, Your Honor, in short, what happened here was not only reckless but also cruel, and there does seem to be an indication that some of the defendant's statements were inconsistent. So given the severity or the seriousness of the underlying charge, we're requesting a $20,000 secured appearance bond. We are not aware of any convictions for this particular individual. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. All right, Ms. Matthews?
Your Honor, my client has absolutely zero prior convictions besides a DUI from 2014, no prior failures to appear. He's resided in Arizona his entire life. He has both a daughter and a son here, family. He has a place to reside besides the victim's place. He has employment. He actually was employed with HyperCiv as a executive assistant since March of 2024. I've been contacted by his employer who indicates that he does have steady employment. He has no reason to run. I understand that the charges are serious. There is no indication, however, that I know that the statute indicates that death or serious bodily injury could result. I don't see any evidence of that in this. So I do believe that a $20,000 bond is completely excessive. I would ask that the court, in lieu of the fact that he has no prior convictions besides a DUI from 2014, no failures to appear, due to the fact that this is a completely probation-eligible offense because he has no prior convictions, I would ask the court to release him on pretrial services. And if the court needs an ankle monitor or something like that to ensure his appearance, then I'm sure he would abide by that. But I don't believe that I think it's a $20,000 bond is absolutely excessive in this case.
All right, so I did have a question about this since the PC statement just kind of left off in October. So I don't know what's happened since then. I don't know what the status is. I'm assuming if the alleged victim in this matter is still alive, and I guess I don't even have that information, frankly. Your client is not otherwise residing or caring for her at this time?
No, he is. He moved back into the home in January, and then actually she's in the hospital right now, Judge. He moved back in November around his birthday, but he does have an alternate residence to reside at if the court releases him.
All right, she's currently in the hospital for an acute...
For a stroke that she had. And they are looking at long-term care for her. He was trying to arrange long-term care for her when he was arrested on this from October.
Okay. All right. Mr. Garcia, in this case, I would normally put an absolute no victim contact in this matter. I'm trying not to exacerbate matters for the alleged victim in this matter if the defendant is the only person who is currently in charge of the alleged victim's care, understanding she's obviously in the hospital right now, but might not be down the road. Obviously, she's in long-term care. That makes it a little different as well. But does the state have a position with respect to victim contact in this matter?
Your Honor, we'd request that there be no victim contact. It just seems to be a concern if she is in his care, whether or not that care is actually being accomplished. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Martin, are there other family members that are able to step in on a temporary basis? It's just you at this point?
Yes, Your Honor.
And he is her power of attorney, and that was difficult to get because she does suffer from dementia. Mm-hmm. So he would go to try to get the power of attorney so that he could manage her affairs, so that he could get her into long-term care, as they were suggesting, and she would refuse. So that's part of the issue.
Okay. All right. This is a difficult one under the circumstances here because we certainly don't want to harm the victim in this matter any further. That is definitely not the court's goal, while still wanting to ensure protection for everybody involved as well. So, Mr. Martin, I did take a look at your criminal history. I am aware of the fact that you do not have anything other than the DUI that was cited. from several years back. So I do recognize that, as well as your lack of any other failure to appear. In looking at Rule 7.2, with respect to the factors that this court does need to determine in release conditions, I do recognize this is an offense from back in October. It has been brought forth to the court here that Mr. Martin has been caring for the victim since then. Obviously, there's no information as to the level of that care, but the charges here involved allegations from back last fall. In applying Rule 7.2, I don't find that a bond is appropriate in this case. So even though the charges are extremely concerning, and as the state has alleged, could be considered cruel in nature, I don't believe that a bond is appropriate. So you are going to be released on pretrial services supervision release with electronic monitoring to be added as well. At this time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to order no unsupervised contact with the alleged victim in this matter, which means you are permitted contact, including at the hospital, but you do require supervision with you for that contact, at least until further court order. Hopefully we're able to get a little bit more information by your next court date in which this issue could always be readdressed, because unfortunately we're not even able to, if you're the power of attorney for the victim, that makes it a little difficult to even get the victim's feedback in terms of these release conditions. So at this time, we'll go ahead and order that you not have any unsupervised contact with the alleged victim, so long as she is in the hospital. You can reside at your current location. That does mean if she does move back home, that you could only be there with other supervision present with you. You can't be physically present alone with her at any point. Do you understand that?
Okay.
All right. So certainly long-term care might be of assistance in this matter at this point. But obviously that is a decision for the medical providers in conjunction with you, since you're still the power of attorney in this case. So I am going to go ahead and include that information in the order that we'll be issuing here. But Mr. Garcia, anything in addition that you want to address with respect to that, specifically release?
No, Your Honor. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. All right, Ms. Matthews?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right, let me go ahead and make the notes that I need to put in here in order to cover that it's supervised contact only. But if you want to go ahead and have a seat, and if you still need to discuss the case, you can go in that back room. We still do have a couple matters to call that are interpreter matters, so you can use that time and then we'll get you the paperwork as soon as it's done, okay?
Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't give you your court date since I was waiting to do release conditions first to make that determination. So you do have a status conference May 12th with a preliminary hearing May 14th, both at 8:30. Those will be at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix, and again, that will be provided in the paperwork as well. All right? All right, thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Garcia, did you want to appear on any other further matters here today?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll try. We'll get the interpreter on the line. All right, is the interpreter able to hear me okay?
Yes. Good morning.
All right, we do Good morning. This is Commissioner Procco. I have you on speaker here in the courtroom, and I do have two individuals here who do need the assistance of a Spanish interpreter. Both of these are for criminal legal matters. It's my understanding you're able to assist us with that.
Yes. As I explained earlier, I am not a certified legal interpreter. So I am an interpreter. I'm L5. I could do legal matter, but I am not certified. I guess I have to clarify that.
All right. What have you done in order to cover legal matters for interpreter matters? Have you done taken any steps for that?
I took classes. First of all, I took a training, an 8-hour training that was a community interpretation training and included some legal matters. And recently, I also have I took also a training, and that 1/3 of that training that lasted like a week, it was also legal.
Okay. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go ahead and start these matters, but if at any point you do not believe that you are able to adequately and correctly interpret what's going on here, if you could notify me so that we can address that, because I do want to make sure that we're able to provide the correct information to both of these individuals, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and I don't want to move the one, since I know I don't want to change, release timing for either one of these. So let's go ahead and start with minor Miranda Velasquez. And if you could go ahead and introduce yourself to Mr. Velasquez and have him state his full name and date of birth.
Buenas, señorita Miranda Velázquez, yo seré su intérprete de español el día de hoy. Usted, por favor, podría comenzar diciendo su nombre y su fecha de nacimiento y su nombre completo, por favor.
Minor Miranda Velázquez, el 20 de agosto del 97.
Norma Miranda Velázquez, August 20, 1997. ¿Perdón?
All right.
Minor es.
Minor es.
Minor.
Minor. Yeah.
Minor.
Sir, you are here for a warrant that was issued, and that's for a failure to appear at your arraignment hearing in your open superior court case.
¿Y usted está acá porque usted decidió comparecer o no compareció en su caso superior de la Corte Superior? No.
That court date. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm having really bad audio. Could you repeat your last statement so I could be sure that I have it right?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and say basically that information again to make sure. So, sir, you are here for a warrant that was issued for a failure to appear at your arraignment hearing for your open felony matter pending in Superior Court.
Okay, usted está acá, se presenta acá por el arreglo que se hizo por el caso que usted tiene abierto del crimen que cometió y que tiene abierto en la Corte Suprema.
An arraignment hearing is now set on May 6th at 8:30 a.m. The location of the court will be provided in your paperwork that you'll be receiving.
Y esa audiencia será el mayo 6 a las 8:30 de la mañana y recibirá el papeleo correspondiente.
The bond in your warrant has been affirmed. That is a $5,000 secured appearance bond.
Y se le fijó una fianza de $5,000 que es un depósito de seguridad.
That is the amount that you would have to post in...
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Para garantizar que usted vuelva a la corte.
That is the amount you would have to post or pay in order to be released prior to your next court date.
Y ese es el dinero que usted tendrá que pagar para que le puedan dejar libre antes de su próximo día de corte.
Since it is a secured appearance bond, you are able to work with a bail bonding company in order to post the amount.
Y como eso es un monto, un depósito de seguridad, usted podrá buscar asistencia en una compañía que pueda ayudarle a pagar ese monto.
Do you have any questions regarding that information?
¿Usted tiene alguna pregunta con respecto a esta información?
La verdad, ahorita no tengo a nadie que me pueda prestar ese dinero.
To say the truth, I don't have anyone as right now that could, from whom I could borrow that money.
Right. If you're unable to pay the bond at this point, you would remain in custody and they would transport you to attend your next court date.
Okay, si usted no puede pagar esa suma, entonces usted se mantendrá en custodia y lo traerán a la corte el próximo día que tenga audiencia.
All right, if you want to go ahead and step over, we will provide you with paperwork that'll have all that information in it as well.
Y hay alguna manera que pueda...
Nosotros también le daremos todo un papel, le daremos la documentación donde estará toda esta información.
¿Alguna que puedan ayudarme o prestarme el dinero? Y es que yo se me quedó sin línea el teléfono, por eso no sabía, me quedé sin comunicación con el abogado para lo de las cortes.
Okay, is there somebody who could lend me that money? What happened is my phone, I lost the line in my phone, so that's the reason why I couldn't contact my lawyer for all of these court things.
I'm not able to provide you access to your own personal phone. You will have access to phones in the back, but I can't provide you with any phone numbers to use.
Yo no puedo devolverle su teléfono personal. Usted puede en la parte de atrás encontrar un teléfono, pero no puedo devolverle su propio teléfono.
You can certainly speak with the officers in the back regarding using the phones to reach out to anybody.
Usted definitivamente puede hablar con los oficiales que están allá atrás para que le permitan comunicarse con alguien que usted quiera.
Okay, if you want to go ahead and step over, we'll get you that information, okay?
Gracias.
Si puede dar un paso adelante, a ir hacia adelante para nosotros darle esta información.
All right, so we do have Bertha O'Connell, who is stepping in the courtroom now. If you could do the same thing, introduce yourself to Ms. O'Connell and have her state her full name and her date of birth.
Okay. Bueno, señor O'Connor, yo seré su intérprete de español. Usted, por favor, puede decir su nombre completo y su fecha de nacimiento.
Berta O'Connor, 3/7/1968.
Berta O'Connor, 3/7/1968.
All right, thank you, ma'am. You have two separate matters here today out of some different courts. I'm going to start with the Goodyear Municipal Court case.
Okay, usted tiene dos asuntos diferentes acá. Yo voy a comenzar con el caso de la Corte Municipal de Goodyear.
This is for a new charge of driving on a suspended license, which is a Class 1 misdemeanor.
Es por haber conducido con una licencia no válida, y eso es un delito menor de primer grado.
You are not entitled to court-appointed counsel for this case because it is a misdemeanor traffic offense, but you do have the right to hire an attorney to represent you.
Sí. Usted tiene el derecho a contratar un abogado si usted quiere, pero eso es un delito menor que no lo requeriría.
An arraignment hearing is set for May 14 at 1 p.m. That'll take place at the Goodyear Municipal Court.
You said, Your Honor, you said 4 p.m.?
May 14 at 1 p.m.
1 p.m. Thank you so much, Your Honor. Sí, y su audiencia será en la corte el día 14 de mayo a la 1 de la tarde.
In this matter, you are being released on your own recognizance. It is going to be your promise to appear at your court dates.
Y para esta situación usted va a ser puesta en libertad, pero con la confianza de que usted va a venir a su audiencia.
Your next matter you have is for a warrant issued out of the Ironwood Justice Court.
Y su próximo asunto es por una citación que se le hizo en la Justice Court.
An arraignment hearing is set for that case on May 15 at 9 a.m.
Your Honor, is May 15, 1516.
Yeah, May 15, 15 at 9 a.m.
Okay. No. Thank you, Your Honor. Sí, entonces usted tendrá que, para ese caso, aparecer en la corte el día 15 de mayo a las 9 de la mañana.
Since it is the first warrant issued in this matter, and this is also a traffic offense, I am going to release you to appear at that next court date on your own as well.
Y siendo que eso también es una citación por tránsito, yo la voy a dejar que se vaya y usted va a venir a su audiencia.
Your release will be on your own recognizance, which is again your promise to appear.
Y esto va a ser con la palabra que usted tenga que va a prometer volver a sus audiencias.
Do you have any questions regarding either of these matters that I've just gone through?
¿Y usted tiene alguna pregunta que hacer con respecto a estos asuntos que yo acabo de mencionarle?
No.
No.
All right, thank you, ma'am. If you want to go ahead and step over, we'll provide you with paperwork.
Thank you. Ok, usted puede retirarse, le daremos su documentación.
All right, those are the only two matters we had. I appreciate your assistance today.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for using our services. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. So it looks like we do have two house calls that we need to put on record here. The first one is for Rodney Templeton, date of birth 10/13/1953. Looks like he has a house call today due to be in medical isolation. He's here for a warrant that was issued for a direct complaint filed alleging 2 counts of aggravated DUI, both class 4 felonies, with the offense dated February 27, 2024, and the public defender has been appointed. Status conference is set May 12th with a preliminary hearing May 14, both at 8:30 at the Superior Court. And in this matter, since I do show this was a summons that was sent back return mail, I am going to follow the PSA recommendation. He is being released on his own recognizance. The next matter here is for Daniel Stroud, date of birth 1/10/93. Do you know why Mr. Stroud was a house call?
Mr. Stroud, face down.
So, combative or, okay. So he's here for 2 separate cases today. These are both probation violation warrants that have been issued. According to the page 2 submitted, the violations were for terms 1, 3, and 5 of his probation terms. I did have to review the probation notes in order to establish probable cause in this matter since the page 2s didn't contain that information. Public defender has been appointed in both revocation arraignment hearing May 2nd at 8:30. In each of these matters, there is a $50 secured appearance bond. All right, I show that is now everybody, so I'm going to go ahead and turn off the recorder. We'll be at... Folks, have a seat. Mr. Clark, are you able to hear me okay?
Yes, good morning. Haven't received any emails. Do we have any Spanish matters?
It does not look like we do, or at least I don't have any marked, but would you be willing to just double check to make sure we haven't missed anyone?
Sure. Would you like me to do that now?
Go ahead.
Okay. Buenos días, damas y caballeros. Si hay alguien que necesite intérprete en español, levante la mano, por favor.
All right. I do not see any hands.
Okay.
Nope. Doesn't look like there's anybody. Thank you so much for checking in.
No problem. You're welcome. Have a great day.
All right. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right. I'm Commissioner Procco. This is the 11 a.m. initial appearance calendar for April 26, 2025. The court's orders for the taking of DNA and fingerprints that were given on the first calendar of this month will apply to all matters on this calendar as well. All right, when you hear your name, please step up to the podium that's here in the center of the courtroom. At the end of your hearing today, you will be receiving paperwork. That's going to cover everything we go over in here. So that'll include your next court dates as well as all of your release conditions. For those of you who will be out of custody prior to your next court date, I do recommend contacting the court in advance of that date so you can verify your hearing details. Please keep in mind you have the right to remain silent. Everything you say in the courtroom is being recorded, both audio and video, and could be used in a future court proceeding. We're going to begin today with Tony David Cortez. After that, it's going to be George Minister. All right, Mr. Cortez, go and state your full name and date of birth.
Tony David Cortez, August 2nd, 1957.
All right, thank you, sir. So you've got two separate cases here today. The first one is going to be the new matter that just came in. So this will be for a new case out of Superior Court. The charge there is one count of aggravated harassment involving an order of protection. That's a Class 5 felony. So in this matter, the Public Defender's Office has been appointed to represent you. Your court dates are a status conference May 1 at 8:30 a.m., evidentiary hearing May 2 at 1:30 p.m., and a preliminary hearing May 5th at 8:30 a.m. All of those will be at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. I do show that you were on felony release, actually, in the other matter that we have here today that we're about to review. But because you were on felony release in this other case at the time this new offense allegedly occurred and probable cause was found here today, you are required at this time to be held without bond on the new matter. So that means you're not eligible for release on that new charge that just came in. That is why we set that evidentiary hearing. That's the hearing on May 2nd. That's the court date we set in order to allow the court to review those release conditions. So specifically your non-bailable hold, okay? Your second case is going to be that open felony matter. It's here because a bench warrant was issued for failure to appear, so you now have a status conference May 5th at 8:30. And in that matter, there is a bond. That's a $500 secured appearance bond. So we'll give you paperwork for both of those cases, and it will contain that information as well. But do you have any questions regarding those? All right, sir, if you want to step over, you can go ahead and have a seat at this time. Thank you. Go ahead to your left there. Yeah. All right, we have George Minister and Francisco Garcia. All right, sir, your full name and date of birth?
George Philip Mentor, M-I-N-T-E-R.
It is M-I-N-T-E-R.
M-I-N-T-E-R.
Okay, there's no S in your last name.
Like mint ice cream, Mentor, mint, M-I-N-T-E-R, mint, tur.
Okay. All right, we'll note that. And your date of birth?
8/9/74.
All right, you are here for a new case out of Superior Court. This is alleging one count of possession of narcotic drugs for sale, a Class 2 felony, one count of transporting narcotic drugs for sale, also a Class 2 felony, and one count of possession of drug paraphernalia, which is a Class 5 felony. So in this matter, the Public Defender's Office has been appointed. You do have a status conference set May 1 with a preliminary hearing May 5th, both at 8:30. And that'll be at the Superior Court located in downtown Phoenix. In this case, I did receive a written recommendation from the state requesting a $100,000 cash-only appearance bond. Based on the nature of the charge that you're here for, as well as a review of your history, I do believe a bond is appropriate. I didn't go quite the same amount, but you do have a $75,000 cash-only appearance bond. If you were to postpone and be released from custody,
How much is that?
it would be subject, that's $75,000. It would be subject to the supervision of pretrial services with electronic monitoring to be added as part of your release terms. You do have orders that you are not to have any contact with any complainant, witness, or co-defendant. If there are any, you're not to possess any weapons while on release. Did you have a question?
My bond is $75,000,
That is correct.
so that's $7,500 or?
It is not. It is a cash-only appearance bond in the amount of $75,000. That is different than a secured appearance bond that you appear to be referring to. So if you have any questions about posting that amount, ask the officers in the back. They'll be able to let you know, but it is a cash bond.
I'm sorry, for drugs?
That is correct. For the sales of fentanyl, yes. Do you have any other questions, though, regarding the information I've gone through?
That's not what's going on. That's what I was.
Do you have any other questions regarding the information I've already provided? All right, if none, if you want to go ahead and step over, you can go and pick up that paperwork that's over there. All right, so we have Francisco, Garcia. After that, it's going to be Sarah, Lloyd. All right, so your full name and date of birth?
Francisco Garcia, 0321990.
All right, thank you. So you are here for a bench warrant that was issued, and that is for failure to appear in CR 2025-114133. So in this matter, you now have a status conference that's been set on May 1st at 8:30 a.m. And in this case, the bond in your warrant has been affirmed, so that is a $2,500 secured appearance bond. So that's the amount you'll have to post before your next court date there on May 1. Do you have any questions regarding that?
No, so I will be held until then.
So if you're unable to postpone, then you would remain in custody and you'd be transported over to attend your court date on May 1.
Okay.
Okay? If you want to go and step over, you can go and have a seat at this time. We've got Sarah, Loy, and then Travis Williams up next. All right, ma'am, your full name and date of birth?
Sarah Lauren Louis, 9/17/92.
All right, thank you. So you are here for a probation violation warrant that was issued. That is for a petition to revoke filed that alleges a violation of terms 3, 4, 5, 12, and 15 of your probation terms. So the public defender's office has been appointed. A revocation arraignment hearing is set May 2nd at 8:30. That'll be at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. In this matter, you do have a bond. This is going to be a secured appearance bond in the amount of $1,500. So the bond in your warrant has been affirmed. So if you do postpone and are released from custody, since you are still on supervised probation, you do still need to abide by those terms. It does include contacting probation within 72 hours. Do you have any questions regarding that? No. All right, if you want to step over, you can go and pick up that paperwork that's available there for you. We've got Travis Williams, and then after that, Tristan Barron. All right, so your full name and date of birth?
Travis Williams, 32677.
All right, sir, so you are here for a probation violation warrant as well. In your probation case, there was a petition to revoke that was filed back in February. It alleges a violation of terms 3 and 5 of your probation term. So the public defender has been appointed. You do have a revocation arraignment hearing set on May 2nd at 8:30. Those will be at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. In your matter, the bond in the warrant has been affirmed. That is a $1,000 secured appearance bond. And again, if you do postpone and are released from custody, since you are still on supervised probation, you do still need to abide by all terms, which does include contacting probation within 72 hours. Do you have any questions regarding anything I've just gone through? You have a bond that you would have to post in order to be released from custody. If you're able to post that bond prior to your next court date, you would be released in this matter. If you're unable to post the bond prior to your next court date, then you would remain in custody, at least at this time, and be transported to attend that court date on May 2nd. All right, if you want to go and step over, you can go ahead and have a seat, though. Thank you, sir. All right, so we have Tristan Barron and John Monty will be up next. All right, sir, your full name and date of birth?
Tristan Lee Joseph Barons, 1/22/1996.
All right, thank you. You've got two separate cases here today. They are both probation violation warrants that have been issued. In each of your probation matters, a petition to revoke was filed alleging a violation of terms 1, 3, 4, and 7 of your probation terms. Let me finish and then I'll give you an opportunity to speak.
Yes, ma'am.
The Public Defender's Office has been appointed. A revocation arraignment hearing is set May 2nd at 8:30. And that'll be at the Superior Court located in downtown Phoenix. The bond in each warrant has been affirmed, so that's a $750 secured appearance bond for each case. It's $1,500 total for both matters. Since you're on IPS for your level of supervision, if you do postpone and are released from custody, you do need to contact probation within 24 hours rather than the standard 72. Do you have a question regarding this matter?
Yeah, so I called my PO and reported the police contact because I had gotten out of jail, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't understand how I have a warrant for it when I reported it. And obviously you could tell I've been doing everything I need to be doing on probation for the first time ever in my life.
Your exact offenses here, the allegations that are included in your petition.
Yeah.
The allegations in your petition to revoke are not that you failed to report something, but that you did commit a new offense, which is in violation of Term 1. That was for an offense that occurred on April 15, 2025. They've also listed some dates in which you did not report as directed. Those dates are specifically in April. Do you want me to finish, or do you want to just go ahead and step over? All right, go ahead and step over to your left. You can go ahead and have
I'm not disrespecting you. I literally sat here.
The information will be provided in your...
Well, no, you can provide it for me. You're the judge.
No, you're going to go ahead and...
No, I'm not. You're going to... You ain't going to touch me. I did nothing wrong. You can't provide me with information? You're foul. Foul as fuck.
All right, we have John Monty up next. After that, Angelo Malik. Hi, your full name and date of birth?
John Anthony Monty, August 24th, 1993.
All right, thank you. So you are here for two separate cases. They're both bench warrants that were issued for failures to appear. In each of those matters, you now have a non-witness violation hearing set on May 2nd at 8:30. That'll be at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. Looks like your prior bonds posted in each case have already been forfeit. The new bonds here for you in each matter are going to be $500 each, which are secured appearance bonds, so it's a total of $1,000 total. If you do postpone and are released, you do need to contact probation within 72 hours of your release. Do you have any questions regarding these matters?
No.
All right, if you want to step over, you can go and pick up that paperwork and have a seat. All right, we have Angelo Malik and then Eric Lewis will be up next.
Lewis. Oh, okay. Who do you want next?
Angelo Malik is up next, and then after that, Mr. Lewis. Hi, Mr. Malik. Go and state your full name and date of birth.
Angelo McQuay Malik, 12/24/1976.
All right, so you've got two separate cases here today. I know you're already in custody. I think I saw it until July. Is that correct?
Yes.
So on or about then? All right, so your first matter that you have here is for a warrant that was issued for a direct complaint that's been filed. So this direct complaint alleges 1 count of possession of dangerous drugs and 1 count of possession of narcotic drugs. The date of offense is February 26th of 2025. Public defenders appointed there, status conference set May 1 with the preliminary hearing May 5th, both at 8:30. So in that matter, since you're already in custody, I just went ahead and affirmed the bond that's there so that way they know you're in custody in this matter as well. So this is going to be a $500 secured appearance bond. So in your next case that you have here, this is your probation matter. The reason we have it on the calendar again here today, even though you're already in custody for that, is because they've added a Term 1 violation as a result of that direct complaint that's been filed. So you can speak with your attorney about what that's going to mean for you down the road. So in this matter, the public defender has been appointed as well. Revocation arraignment hearing set May 2nd at 8:30. And in that matter, there is a $50 secured appearance bond. So it's $550 total for both. So you'll get that information here in a moment, but do you have any questions regarding it?
No, I don't think so. But I'm supposed to be going on rehab, and I just see already on Thursday. So I just wait for them to hear from insurance. So I don't know how that's gonna.
Talk to your attorney about it, because I'm not sure how that's going to impact if you have any treatment releases or anything.
Yeah, I'm supposed to be released if, instead of July 1st, I could get released maybe by next week or so. The judge will wait for my insurance to be approved, which I ordered to collaborate, and then they would have told me that I have a bed that's available. The judge is going to contact with my insurance, and then I'll be on my way. But I don't know how this is going to work.
You're going to have to go to at least these first court dates here first.
All right.
So they're going to be next week. So at that point, talk to your attorney, particularly if you do find out that there was a bed made available to you. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Yes. All right. So we have Eric Lewis, and then Kevin Jinks is going to be up next. All right. So your full name and date of birth.
11/22/86.
And your full name.
Eric Anthony Lewis.
All right, so you're here for a probation violation warrant that was issued. This is for a petition to revoke filed back in March. It alleges a violation.
Barely
of
March?
3 and 5.
She barely put it in March?
It was on March 10 of 2025 is the issuance date. In this matter, the Public Defender's Office has been appointed. A revocation arraignment hearing is set May 2nd at 8:30. And in this matter, the bond in your warrant is a $750 secured appearance bond, which has been affirmed at this time. If you do postpone and are released, you do need to contact probation within 72 hours.
But she barely issued that in March?
It was issued on March 10th.
She just gave me that. So she barely wanted it, but she gave me all this time to figure my shit out.
I can't address anything beyond the warrant.
Thank you.
All right, so we have Kevin Jinks here, and then Jermaine James will be up next. All right, so your full name and date of birth?
Kevin Michael Jinks, 53182.
All right, thank you. So you were here for a bench warrant that was called. That's for failure to appear in CR 2024-137846. In that matter, a status conference is set May 1, preliminary hearing May 5th, both at 8:30. Those are going to be at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. In this matter, the bond in your warrant's been affirmed. That's a $500 secured appearance bond. So that's the amount you'd have to post to be released prior to that next court date you have.
Okay.
Any questions regarding that?
No.
All right, sir, if you want to step over, you can go ahead and have a seat. Thank you. All right, Mr. James, Moses Jackson will be up next. All right, so your full name and date of birth?
Jermaine James, April 30th, 1995.
All right, thank you, sir. So you've got a new case out of Superior Court. So this is for 1 count of possession of dangerous drugs and 1 count of possession of narcotic drugs. Those are both going to be Class 4 felonies. 2 counts of possession of drug paraphernalia, both Class 6 felonies. So the Public Defender's Office has been appointed. A status conference is set on May 1 with a preliminary hearing May 5th, both at 8:30. And that's going to be at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. In this matter, based on a review of your history, you do have a bond in this case. That's a $500 secured appearance bond. So you'll get that information here in a moment, but do you have any questions regarding it?
Will I be able to be released today to go to help attend with my father? My
So
elderly
you
father?
would have to post a bond in order to be released. If you post that $500 bond, assuming you have no other holds, and I'm not aware of any, but they'll let you know if you do, then you would be released from custody, but you do have to post that bond.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so we have Moses Jackson and then Eve Peterson up after that. All right, so your full name and date of birth?
June 21st, 1960.
And your full name? Your full name?
Moses B. Jackson.
All right, thank you, sir. So you were brought in on a new case out of Superior Court. It is alleging 1 count of possession of dangerous drugs. That's a Class 4 felony. And 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia, which is a Class 6 felony. So the Public Defender's Office has been appointed. A status conference is set May 1st with the preliminary hearing May 5th, both at 8:30. And those are going to be at the Superior Court located in downtown Phoenix. And based on a review of your history, you have actually a fairly lengthy history here. You do have a bond in this matter. That's a $500 secured appearance bond. So you will get that information here in a moment, but do you have any questions regarding any of it? Any questions?
No.
All right, so if you want to step over, you can go ahead and have a seat. All that information will be included in your paperwork as well. All right, so we have Eve Peterson. After that, it's going to be Reina Rodriguez Bolanos. And ma'am, your full name and date of birth?
Yeah, Eve Peterson, January 15th, 1968.
All right, thank you. You are here for a probation violation warrant. So in that probation matter, there was a petition to revoke filed back in November, alleging a violation of terms 3 and 5 of your probation terms. So the public defender's office has been appointed. Revocation arraignment hearing set on May 2nd at 8:30. And in that matter, the bond and the warrant's been affirmed. That's a $500 secured appearance bond. If you do postpone and are released, still on supervised probation, so you do need to contact probation within 72 hours. Do you have any questions regarding any of that?
No, but I appealed it because I'm trying to get this matter dropped. Because
that's an issue for the probation court. That's who you're going to go in front of next.
Okay.
So that's something to discuss with your attorney if you've done anything to address the exact violations that you've had. I'll let you know they don't show any contacts since right around that time that PTR was issued.
Okay.
But you can certainly speak to your attorney about that. All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you. All right, so we have Reina Rodriguez Bolanos and then Byron Monroe up after that. Hey, ma'am, your full name and date of birth?
Is Reina Carolina Rodriguez Bolanos, 9/6/1992.
All right, thank you. So you were here for a bench warrant that was issued. This one is for a failure to appear in CR 2024-130270-002. So you have a status conference set May 1st at 8:30. That'll be at the Superior Court. And in this matter, the bond in your warrant, which has been affirmed, is a $250 secured appearance bond. Do you have any questions regarding that?
No.
All right, if you want to step over, you can go and pick up that paperwork that's been provided over there for you. All right, so we have Byron Monroe, and then Michael Hatmaker will be up next. Hi, Mr. Monroe. Go ahead and state your full name and date of birth.
Byron Monroe, August 31st, 2005.
All right, thank you. So you've been brought in today for a page 2 that was issued. This is for a warrant that was issued for a direct complaint that's been filed. So before I get into that, I'll go through the charges and everything we have here. I do show you were already in custody at the time you were brought over here to attend this court date. Do you currently have another hold in place? Are you in on bond? Are you serving a time for something? What's your status?
Wait, what did you say?
Why are you already in custody?
I was a
self-surrender?
Yeah.
All right. How long are you in for that self-surrender matter?
3 days.
3 days?
Monday. Till Monday.
Till Monday. Okay. Is this a DUI case you had in another court? All right. Hold on 1 second. We might have a change here. All right, so other than that case, other than the DUI matter that you self-surrendered on, and this case, obviously, that you're here for right now, you don't have any other holds that you're aware of? Okay, you're not in for any other matters, in other words. Okay. All right, so like I said, you do have a direct complaint that was filed that alleges 1 count of criminal damage, a class 5 felony, and 1 count of criminal trespass in the 3rd degree, which is a class 3 misdemeanor. So this has an offense date of September 14 of 2024. I did just sign that paperwork again. So in this matter, the public defender's office has been appointed. You have a status conference set on May 12th with the preliminary hearing May 14, both at 8:30. And that will be at the Superior Court located in downtown Phoenix. So in this case, because you're being released in your other matter that you have here, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to release you, but it's going to be subject to the supervision of pretrial services. So before you go, you're going to be receiving some additional paperwork regarding that process in an envelope, and that's going to contain the pretrial services instructions, okay? Because you're going to be instructed to check in with them while on release, okay? So do you have any questions regarding that?
No.
Okay, the rest of your release conditions are going to be included in your paperwork, which do include not returning to the scene of the offense or having any contact with any victim, complainant, or witness.
So I will get released Monday?
So you are being released, but after you're done with your other matter. So whatever day you had set for that other case that you're in, that's when you'll be released. So it's not going to be right away in this one, okay? You still have to serve the rest of your time for that DUI. Whatever time you had. So you said you're getting released on Monday? You still have to stay until Monday. So in this matter, you're going to show release, but it'll be to pretrial services. So after you get out, on Monday, follow the instructions for pretrial services. You need to check in with them.
Yeah, that's what I was asking, if I was still getting out Monday.
Yeah, I don't have any control over your other case. So if you're scheduled to get out Monday, this one isn't going to stop you, okay? Because I'm releasing you in this matter. So whenever you were scheduled to be released in that other case, it should be the same time that you're getting released. This won't impact it.
All right, so the other case is the one I'm here for right now, or no?
The other case is the one you're going to still be in on. Yeah, that DUI.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Because you're going to show as being released in this matter.
All right.
Okay? All right. So if you want to step over, you can go and pick up that paperwork. It looks like we did get the reprinted one out there for you. All right. So we have Michael Hatmaker, Taylor Crops going to be up after that. All right. So your full name and date of birth.
Michael Hatmaker, 03-2896.
All right, thank you. So you are here for a new case out of Superior Court. The charge here is 1 count of possession of narcotic drugs. That's a class 4. Has been appointed to represent you. Your court dates are a status conference May 12th with the preliminary hearing May 14th, both at 8:30. So in this matter, I am going to be following the PSA recommendation here. You are being released, but it is subject to the supervision of pretrial services. So before you go, you'll get their information because you do have to stay checked in with them while on release.
Okay.
Do you have any questions regarding that?
No.
All right, if you want to go and step over, you can go and pick up that paperwork that's there. All right, so we have Taylor Cross, and then Mariah Beckley will be up next. All right, so your full name and date of birth.
All right, Taylor George Crop, 10/26/1992.
All right, thank you. So you are here for 3 separate cases today. So I'm going to start with the first matter. This is now going to be an open case in Superior Court. So this is for a warrant that was issued for a direct complaint that's been filed. It's for 1 count of possession of narcotic drugs, class 4 felony, and 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia, class 6 felony. The date of offense is May 23 of 2024. So in this matter, the public defender has been appointed. Your court dates are status conference May 12th, preliminary hearing May 14th, both at 8:30. I don't show you received notice of the summons that went out in this matter prior to this hearing being set and the warrant being issued. So I am going to be releasing you today since it looks like you have been at least recent contact with your probation officer. Because I did look at your probation.
Yeah, I was just about to tell you, this
it hasn't
last
been
year.
perfect. I won't say it's been perfect, but
Right.
you have been in contact.
Yeah, well, I'm saying like this last year, I actually, since that date, I've actually stayed sober, worked, I have an apartment, so thank you.
All right, congratulations on that. I sincerely do mean that. All right, so you are being released on your own recognizance. You are still subject to the supervision of probation, though, so you still need to abide by all the same terms you had before, okay? That's going to include contacting them within 72 hours since you do have to contact them after law enforcement contact. Okay. Your probation matters are also on the calendar today. What happens there is when you come in on that new offense, they do a term 1 violation. So in that case, public defender's been appointed as well. Your arraignment hearing there is May 2nd at 8:30. So just keep in mind, I just gave you 2 different sets of court dates, okay?
Okay.
And in that matter, you are being released, again, on your own recognizance, subject to the supervision of probation. All right. Any questions regarding that?
No, ma'am.
All right. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, so we have Mariah Beckley, and then Brian Aiken will be up next. All right, ma'am, your full name and date of birth?
Mariah Beckley, 7/17/01.
All right, so you are here for a new case out of the Goodyear Municipal Court.
Yes.
This is for 2 counts of shoplifting. Those are both class 1 misdemeanors. You're not entitled to court-appointed counsel in this matter due to the nature of the offense here. You do have the right to retain an attorney to represent you, though, okay? So an arraignment hearing has been set on May 14 at 1 p.m. That's going to be at the Goodyear Municipal Court. And in this case, you are being released on your own recognizance. You do have the additional terms here that you are not to return to the scene of the offense, not have any contact with any complainant or witness involved.
Thank you, Judge.
Do you have any questions?
No.
All right, if you want to go and step over, you can go and pick up that paperwork there. Thank you, ma'am. All right, we have Ryan Aiken. Trevor Taylor is going to be up after that. Hi, Mr. Aiken. Go and state your full name and date of birth.
My name is Ryan Aiken. My date of birth is 6/5/1988.
All right, thank you, sir. So you are here for a new case out of Superior Court. It's alleging 1 count of possession of dangerous drugs, class 4 felony, 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia, class 6 felony. So the public defender's office has been appointed. You have a status conference set May 12th with the preliminary hearing May 14th, both at 8:30. And in this matter, I don't show you have any other prior history. So you're being released on your own recognizance. It is going to be your promise to appear.
Yes, ma'am.
Any questions regarding that?
No, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right, so we have Trevor Taylor. After that, Kimberly Rafa. Taylor, go and state your full name and date of birth.
Trevor Lee Taylor. See date of birth.
Date of birth.
August 29th, 1991.
All right, thank you. So you are here for actually two matters. I'll start with the new matter, though, that's here for a new case out of Superior Court. So the only count I was able to find probable cause on is the possession of drug paraphernalia, which is a Class 6 felony. They did submit a charge of possession of dangerous drugs. I didn't find probable cause on it here today, which doesn't necessarily mean it's going away, but I didn't get enough information. So the public defender's been appointed. A status conference is set May 12th with a preliminary hearing May 14th, both at 8:30. I did take a look at your probation notes, since I know you were just recently sentenced to probation. Looks like you have been at least recent contact with probation. It's for that reason I'm going to be releasing you today. So you are being released on your own recognizance, but you are still subject to the supervision of your probation officer. So within 72 hours of your release, you do need to contact probation since you've had law enforcement contact.
Yes, Your Honor.
So your next case you have here is your probation matter.
Yes.
So it's been added for a Term 1 violation, so it's related to the new charge.
Right.
So in that case, the public defender is appointed as well. Revocation arraignment hearing set May 2nd at 8:30. And in that matter, same release conditions, you are being released on your own recognizance, subject to the supervision of probation.
Thank you so much, Your Honor.
Do you have any questions regarding these matters?
No, I'll be in contact with my PO as soon as I can. And again, thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, good luck to you. All right, so we have Kimberly Raffel and Kynan Stoneham will be up next. Hi, ma'am, your full name and date of birth?
It is Kimberly Rael, R-A-E-L, 42584.
Okay, so it's R-A-E-L, no F is in there. Okay. Can we note that?
Yeah.
All right. All right, so you are here for a new case out of Superior Court. This is alleging one count of possession of dangerous drugs, that's a Class 4 felony, one count of possession of drug paraphernalia, Class 6 felony. So in this matter, the public defender's office has been appointed. You have a status conference set May 12th with the preliminary hearing May 14th, both at 8:30 at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. And in this matter, I am following the PSA recommendation here. You are being released on your own recognizance. It is your promise to appear.
Okay.
Do you have any questions regarding?
I'm sorry, the 12th and the 14th.
12th and the 14th are those two court dates, okay? And I do, like I said at the beginning, I always recommend contacting the court in advance of the date so you can verify that.
Okay.
Okay?
So I'll be released today then?
You are being released today, assuming you have no other holds. I'm not aware of any, and they'll let you know if you do.
I don't. I just had the failure to appear. That's why I had the warrant out.
Yeah,
And then,
no. Well, the warrant, so if you have a warrant somewhere, that's totally separate from this. So I don't know if you still need to be seen on a warrant from another case, but again, they'll let you know if you have any other holds from another court.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Stoneham, and then after that, we'll have Julian Gayton. All right, sir, your full name and date of birth?
Kimon Monroe, David Stoneham, 11/02/2006.
All right, so you are here for a new case out of Superior Court that charges one count of possession of dangerous drugs, which is a Class 4 felony. The public defender's office has been appointed. You have a status conference set May 12th with the preliminary hearing May 14th, both at 8:30. And those will be at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. So in this matter, you are going to be released here today. I'm following the PSA recommendation. You are being released on your own recognizance. It is going to be your promise to appear. Do you have any questions?
No.
Fine. If you don't have any questions, we're going to be providing you with paperwork that'll have all that information in it as well, okay? Thank you, sir. All right, so we do have Mr. Gayton up next. This is Julian Gayton. Yeah, yeah. All right, sir. Your full name and date of birth?
Julian Gaitan, February 17, 1993.
All right, thank you. All right, so you've got two separate cases here today. So you do have the new matter you were just brought in on that we'll address, and then you do have that fugitive of justice warrant that was issued out of the state of Oklahoma. Did you get that laminated sheet and have an opportunity to take a look at that?
I haven't received it yet.
Oh, okay. We need to have him review the SOJ sheet. So I'm going to go ahead and have you have a seat so you can take a look at that, okay? And if you can just signal someone when you've had an opportunity to review it, okay? All right, so since I can't call anything else right now, I'm going to go ahead and put our house calls on record. So the first one I have here is going to be for Christine Hanley, date of birth 3/31 of 1978. I show she is a house call due to being combative. She's here for a bench warrant that was issued for a failure to appear, and the status conference is now set May 6th at 8:30. The bond in her warrant has been affirmed that the $250 secured appearance bond. Otherwise, the rest of her release conditions do remain the same. Oscar Garcia, date of birth 1/23 of 94. I show is also a house call due to being combative. He's here for a new case out of Superior Court. The only count probable cause was found on is one count of aggravated DUI, a Class 4 felony. There are 3 additional counts here that no probable cause was found on. That's 1 count of possession of narcotic drugs, 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia, and 1 count of criminal trespass in the 3rd degree. The Public Defender's Office has been appointed. A status conference is set May 12th with a preliminary hearing May 14th, both at 8:30. In this matter, he is being released to pretrial services supervision subject, also with alcohol testing and drug testing and monitoring, with orders not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription, not to possess or consume any alcohol. Our last matter here again. You can go ahead and come on in the courtroom. Mr. Gaetan. All right. So we'll go ahead and recall your matter here. So you did have an opportunity to review that laminated sheet?
Briefly, yes.
Okay. We're going to go over that here in a second, okay?
Gotcha.
So I'm going to go ahead and start with the new case that you were just brought in on, okay? Since you've got new charges here out of Superior Court. So that's 1 count of possession of narcotic drugs, Class 4 felony, 1 count of DUI, that's a Class 1 misdemeanor. So in that matter, I don't show you qualify for court-appointed counsel based on the information we've received. You do, of course, have the right to retain an attorney on your own behalf to represent you in this matter. Now, if you believe that's incorrect and based on your financial situation, you should qualify for court-appointed counsel. I can readdress that if you'd like to, okay? But as of right now, you do have a status conference set May 1st with the preliminary hearing May 5th, both at 8:30. Those will be at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. Because you've got this FOJ warrant here out of Oklahoma, so either way you're going to have some kind of hold in that case. I did do a $50 cash bond in this one, so it's a placeholder bond. So I want to make sure that they know you're in custody in this case as well, just in case you don't get released in your second case. Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah, okay.
All right, and maybe it'll make more sense once we get into the other case, okay? Yes. All right, so let me go ahead and move on to that Oklahoma warrant. They were notified, did confirm that that was still a valid warrant out of their state. So the laminated sheet that you received there, that is the waiver of extradition language. So that's what you'd be waiving if you opted to do that here today. And I'm going to go over your options that you have here, okay? And I'll give you an opportunity to ask any questions you have regarding those choices, okay? So the first option you have is you can choose to waive extradition. When you do that, you are agreeing to return to the state of Oklahoma on that warrant. If you agree to that, you would have no further hearings here in Maricopa County, and Oklahoma would have 30 days starting tomorrow to pick you up, unless you have any local open cases. I'm stressing that since it looks like you might have a local open case. That's the new matter you just got brought in on. If you do have any local open cases, the 30-day time frame would not start until the local case is concluded, okay? So that's if you choose to waive extradition. Now, your other option you have here today is you can choose not to waive extradition, at least not at this time. You'll be given the same choice down the road, so you can always waive at a later date. So if you choose not to waive extradition here today, I'd be setting your fugitive from justice hearing on May 5th at 1:30 p.m. That would take place at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. Now, in this matter, I also can't appoint court-appointed counsel. In this case, it's because the extradition case is considered to be a civil matter. Even though it's a criminal case back in Oklahoma, extradition proceedings are civil. So you do have the right to retain an attorney, once again, to represent you. I'll also note there are sometimes public defenders present at those hearings who can provide assistance. There's just no guarantee of that. All right, so if you choose not to waive extradition, in that case, you are bailable. If you choose to waive extradition, you're held non-bailable. Okay, you're held in the county jail until Oklahoma picks you up.
Yeah.
If you choose not to waive extradition, the bond in your warrant would be affirmed. So the bond in that Oklahoma warrant is a $10,000 bond. That would be a secured appearance bond here. So it's secured so you are able to work with a bail bonding company in order to post that amount. Now the process there, if you choose not to waive extradition, is that a governor's warrant has to be signed by the governors of both states, so both Oklahoma and Arizona, in order to extradite you back to that state. That process can take up to 90 days. That's the time frame they have to execute the warrant, okay? Do you have any questions regarding anything that I've just gone over here with respect to that Oklahoma warrant?
No.
Do you know how you want to proceed today?
Yeah, I'm not waiving my...
Okay. All right, so I'm going to put in here that you're not waiving your rights, at least not at this time. Like I said, if you change your mind down the road, you can let the judge know, and she can do that. But I did put in here that you do potentially have new charges in another case. Hopefully by the time you go in for this new date, you'll already have had your first court dates for the other matter, so you'll know what's going to happen in those, hopefully. Okay, that's the hope.
And
so, go ahead, do you have a question?
On those new charges, is there a bond?
So that's why I did that $50 bond, okay? So you've got a $50 bond on the new charge, so you still have to post the $50 bond, all right? In this Oklahoma case, you've got that $10,000 secured appearance bond, okay? So you'd have to post both of them to be released, okay?
Understood.
All right. So in this matter, I'll go ahead and set that $10,000 secured appearance bond. And like I said, you have that hearing on May 5th at 1:30. We'll have all that information for you in your paperwork. We'll get that printed out for you. But before I have you just go ahead and have a seat, any questions?
Not at all.
All right. So give us a second. We'll get you that paperwork, okay?
Thank you.
All right, we can go ahead and call our last matter.
Hello, good morning, Miss.
All right, Mr. Cordova, if you could state your full name and your date of birth, sir.
Okay. My full name is K. Cordova. Date of birth will be 07/09/1998.
All right, thank you. So you are here for a new case that'll be out of Superior Court. There are multiple charges that have been submitted here, so I'm going to go ahead and go through those for you here.
Okay.
You've got 2 counts of sexual assault as Class 2 felonies, 2 counts of aggravated assault as Class 3 felonies, 2 counts of kidnap as Class 3 felonies, 1 count of robbery as a Class 4 felony, 1 count of aggravated assault as a Class 4 felony, and 1 count of sexual abuse, that's a Class 5 felony. Those are the counts that were submitted here today that I was able to find probable cause on. There are 2 additional counts that were submitted, 1 count of sexual assault that went in as a Class 3 felony because I assume they meant to submit an attempted, and then 1 count of aggravated assault as a Class 3 felony. It doesn't necessarily mean those additional counts are going away, but they didn't provide me the correct information here today. The dates of offense here are going to be April 5th, 2025, and November 11 of 2024. For this entire matter, the Public Defender's Office has been appointed. We do have a status conference set on May 1st with a preliminary hearing May 5th, both at 8:30. Those will be at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. I did receive a written recommendation from the state in this matter, requesting a $750,000 cash-only appearance bond. I do agree with their basis for their request. In other words, I do agree. Let me finish talking, and I'll give you a chance. So I do agree with the basis, which is that you do represent what I would consider to be an extreme danger to the community. So you do have a bond in this matter, but in your case, that is going to be a $500,000 cash-only appearance bond. If you post bond and are released from custody, you would be subject to the supervision of pretrial services, and you'd also have electronic monitoring installed as part of those release conditions that's actually required by Arizona law for some of the charges that you're here for. You're also going to be ordered not to return to the scene of any offense, not to have any contact with any victim, complainant, or witness in this matter. You're not to possess any weapons while on release. So we will give you some paperwork that's going to go over all of that I just went through as well. If you have any questions regarding any of it.
Why are they giving me a bond so high?
I gave you a bond so high because I consider, based on the fact that there are allegations involving two separate victims, two separate dates of offense, and what appears to be similar conduct, so that can be considered almost to be serial conduct, that you represent an extreme danger to the community in this matter. That's the basis for the bond.
Miss, if I may talk, I have $3 at home. I will not assault a woman like that.
You have been appointed an attorney to represent you, so you can certainly speak with your attorney about any defenses you believe apply. I will let you know, based on the Form 4 that was submitted, including the probable cause statement that came with it, I did find that there was probable cause for all of those counts that I listed probable cause for. So you can certainly speak with your attorney, though, about the specific allegations against you.
Okay.
All right. If you want to go and step over, we'll go ahead and give you some paperwork over there. All right, I do show that was our last matter, and we did already put those house calls on record, so I'm going to go ahead and turn off the recorder.
Okay, we're good now?
Yes.
Okay. Good afternoon. This is the time set for the 2 p.m. initial appearance calendar for April 26, 2025. The court's orders for the taking of fingerprints and DNA samples made on the 1st of this month will apply to all matters on this calendar. I am going to be calling you each up to the podium one by one, where I will advise you. I will ask you for your first and last name and your date of birth. I will then advise you as to why you are here, whether or not an attorney has been appointed to represent you, and what your upcoming court dates will be. I will then advise you as to what your bond will be if you are eligible for bond, and what your release conditions will be. Some of you may have questions while I'm providing this advisement. I just ask that you hold your questions until the advisement is completed. I would also caution you to keep your questions only as to your release conditions. Any legal questions you may have, those should be directed to your attorney. The first person that I'm calling to the podium is Robert Carrillo. And Ms. Mensch, if you will please have a seat in the chair. Is Mr. Garcia going to be joining us? Does Mr. Garcia know that? Okay, did he indicate what time we're going to be joining? Okay.
Go over here.
Counsel, will you please state your appearance?
Yes, good to see you again, Judge. Benjamin Richards on behalf of Mr. Robert Ray Correa, who's in custody, standing to my left.
Thank you. Mr. Creo, can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Robert Ray, Creo, 12/27/79.
Sir, you are here today on a new case. You were charged with 1 count of theft or control of stolen property, a Class 6 felony, and 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia, a Class 1 misdemeanor. Mr. Richards, do you want to be heard on probable cause?
I do, Your Honor, as well as release conditions. Regarding probable cause for the first count, which is the drug paraphernalia count, the law enforcement officer, of course, does not have any sort of confirmatory toxicology result. Also, it doesn't appear that the officer even did something as basic as a field test, which is common practice amongst all the law enforcement agencies here in Maricopa County. For that reason, we do not believe that probable cause exists for that first count. For the second count, which is the theft of control of stolen property, Mr. Carrillo was stopped while he was in his vehicle. He went over to a friend who was in a different vehicle. That's when law enforcement encountered him. Mr. Carrillo correctly stated that the vehicle he is the registered owner of. Law enforcement confirmed that in the Form 4, but they said that the plate was stolen. A couple of things regarding probable cause and how the state fails to meet that. First, under 13-1802A5, which is the statute at issue, there is permissible inferences listed under subsection D and then ARS 133205. The permissible inferences at issue essentially describe what can be used to infer that somebody stole some piece of property. Under subsection A of 132305, that specifically is the recency that the property was stolen. There is no piece of information on the Form 4 that talks about when the license plate was stolen. Also, this was charged as a Class 6 felony, which is preposterous because the standard for a Class 6 under 13-1802 is that the value of the stolen property needs to be between $1,000 and $2,000. An annual vehicle registration doesn't even rise to that for most vehicles, certainly not a license plate. For that reason, the state has not met its burden of probable cause, hence the count 2.
I do need a moment, and I think you should probably be reaching out to Mr. Garcia to see if he will join us.
Okay.
And counsel, if you will please, I'm sorry, I usually have a book up here and I don't have one. So if you could please recite the statute which you are referencing so I may take a look at it.
Sure. Under 13-1802, Your Honor.
13-1802?
That's what he's charged with under subsection A5.
Okay.
Under that same statutory framework, Your Honor, subsection D specifically references subsection A5. And subsection D points courts to a different statute, permissible inferences under ARS 132305.
Can you repeat the last one?
ARS 132305. That's the permissible inferences statute.
Yes. Okay.
Your Honor, Stephen Garcia for the state.
Hello, Mr. Garcia. We are here on the Robert Carrillo matter. Defense has made arguments regarding probable cause as to both counts. I will say the reason why the court has reached out and invited you to attend is because as to the theft or control of the stolen property is alleged as a Class 6 felony. The allegation is that the stolen property is a license plate. No value was alleged or given in the probable cause statement to support a Class 6 felony. I will just say, Mr. Richards, I'm not so concerned about the recency of when he obtained the license plate. It was confirmed to be stolen, but it is the charging of that allegation as a Class 6 felony. And then the court does also note its concerns that the second allegation, that he was charged with drug paraphernalia, the probable cause statement only references actual drugs and no paraphernalia. So I'm not sure if you wanted to be heard on either of those things.
No, Your Honor. I understand. I just looked it over. We would leave it to your discretion. Thank you.
So at this time, the court finds no probable cause as to either of the allegations. So as such, Mr. Carrillo, we have to reprint this order. Mr. Carrillo would be released. The recommendation was that he would be held not bondable due to the felony allegation, but I don't believe that would be appropriate here. So the next court date for Mr. Carrillo will be May 12th at 8:30. And then we'd have a preliminary hearing on May 14th at 8:30. Something is going on with my order, so hold on one second. Okay. Does it look right? And is my signature showing? Because it's just not looking right to me right now. Okay. So while we are waiting, so that just to confirm that the status conference is going to be on May 12th at 8:30, preliminary hearing is on May 14th at 8:30. Mr. Carrillo will be released today because no probable cause was found as to either the allegations. I'm not sure, Mr. Garcia, is there anything that you want to be heard on? Is this anything further from you?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. If you'd like to be excused, you may. And Mr. Richards, I'm not sure if there's anything further you wanted to be heard on at this time.
Nothing further. Thank you, Judge.
Okay, so we just ask that you be patient because we do have to print out the orders and we are having some technical difficulties at this time. So I don't know if you want to have a conversation with your client while we wait. You're welcome to use the back room and I will call the next matter.
Appreciate that, Judge.
Ms. Mensch, will you please come into the courtroom? And Mr. Bonner, will you please have a seat in the chair?
Hello.
Hello. You can say your first and last name for me.
Chelsea Mensch.
And your date of birth.
12/1/81.
You are here today on a new case. You were charged with 1 count of possession of a dangerous drug, a class 4 felony, 1 count of possession of a narcotic drug, a class 4 felony, and 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia, a class 6 felony. I did find probable cause as to all of the counts. I did appoint an attorney to represent you. You will have a status conference hearing on May 1st at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on May 5th at 8:30. Because you were on felony release at the time that these alleged offenses occurred, you are not eligible for bonds today by statute. So I did schedule an evidentiary hearing for you for May 2nd at 1:30. That takes care of everything that I needed to advise you of this afternoon. If you have no questions for me regarding release conditions, if you will step to your left, the officer will give you your paperwork.
So I don't get released today then?
No.
It was showing that I was, this was my first violation.
You have a pending case. You were just seen here on, I believe, it was either April 11th or April 16th on a new case, and those were felony charges regarding aggravated DUI. You were seen on April 16th. So you were on release for those, and now you've committed allegedly additional felony offenses. So by law, by statute, you are not eligible for bond at this hearing. So I set an evidentiary hearing for you so that that issue can be discussed before the judge. You'll have an attorney. That will be on May 2nd at 1:30. Your paperwork will have all your release conditions and your court dates on it.
Okay. So I just have to wait until May 2nd to be seen?
Well, no, your first hearing is on May 1st. The hearing regarding your bond will be on May 2nd.
Okay, I won't be released on May 1st either.
Probably not.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Bonner, will you please come to the courtroom? And Mr. Jose Vasquez, if you'll please have a seat in the chair. Hello, sir.
Hello.
Can you please state your first last name and your date of birth?
Joseph Bonner, 11/01/1993.
You were here on a new case. You were charged with 1 count of aggravated assault, a class 6 felony, and 2 counts, 1 count of disobeying or resisting an order of the court or mandate, a class 6 felony, and then 1 count of disobeying or resisting a court order or mandate, a class 1 misdemeanor. I did find probable cause as to all 3 counts, and I did appoint an attorney to represent you. You will have a status conference hearing on May 1st at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on May 5th at 8:30. You have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $25,000. If you are able to post bond, you'll be released to pretrial services with electronic monitoring. You cannot return to the scene of the alleged crime. You cannot initiate any contact with the alleged victim, and you cannot possess any weapons. You must obey any terms of orders of protection or orders against harassment. You cannot reside at the same location as the alleged victim. You are permitted 1 civil standby with local law enforcement to assist you in collecting your essential belongings. If you violate the no victim contact order in this case, you could be charged with aggravated harassment, which is a class 6 felony. Failure to comply with your release conditions or to appear for your court dates will result in the forfeiture of any bond that you've posted. A warrant would issue for your arrest and additional bonds to be imposed. That takes care of everything that I needed to advise you of regarding, that takes care of everything that I needed to advise you this afternoon. If you don't have any questions for me regarding your release conditions, if you will please step to your left, officer will give you your paperwork. Thank you. Mr. Vasquez, if you'll please come to the courtroom, and Ms. Juanita Graham, if you'll please have a seat in the chair. Sir, can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
My first name is Jose Manuel Vasquez. Is 1/1/1998.
Thank you. You are here today on a new case. You are charged with 1 count of aggravated assault, a class 5 felony, 1 count of resisting arrest with physical force, a class 6 felony, 2 counts of threatening or intimidating threat of injury or property damage, a class 1 misdemeanor, and 1 count of assault with intent to injure, a class 1 misdemeanor. I did find probable cause as to all of those counts, and I did appoint an attorney to represent you. You do have a status conference hearing on May 1st at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on May 1st at 8:30.
Man, just almost so my legs give up because this shit happening again.
You have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $25,000. If you are able to post bond, you cannot return to the scene of the alleged crime, you cannot initiate any contact with the alleged victims, and you cannot possess any weapons. You must contact your parole officer within 24 hours of your release. Failure to comply with your release conditions or failure to appear for your court dates will result in the forfeiture of any bond that you posted. A warrant will issue for your arrest and additional bond could be imposed. That takes care of everything that I needed to advise you of today. If you have no questions for me regarding your release conditions, you can step to the left and the officer will give you a report.
So I'm able to get released?
If you are able to post bond. Ms. Graham, will you please come into the courtroom? And Mr. Jackson, if you please have a seat in the chair.
Hello, how you doing?
Ma'am, can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Janita Brown, 7/1/87.
You are here today on a new case. You were charged with 1 count of fraudulent schemes or artifices, a class 2 misdemeanor, class 2 felony. 1 count of theft or control of property, a class 4 felony, and 1 count of taking the identity of another, a class 4 felony. I did find probable cause as to all counts, and I did appoint an attorney to represent you. You have a status conference hearing on May 1st at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on May 5th at 8:30. You have a cash-only bond in the amount of $25,000. The court is making a record. The reason for the bond and the amount that the court set it is the court is very concerned that there's a high probability of flight risk in this matter based on the information that the court did review in the probable cause statement as well as review of the defendant's criminal history. If you are able to post bond, you cannot return to the scene of the alleged crime. You cannot initiate any contact with the alleged victim. Failure to comply with your release conditions will result in the forfeiture of any bond that you post. A warrant would issue for your arrest, and additional bond could be imposed. That takes care of everything that I needed to advise you of today. If you have no questions for me, if you will please step to your left, the officer will give you your paperwork. Thank you. Okay. Mr. Jackson, will you please come to the courtroom? Oh, I'm so sorry. Mr. Jackson, we're not going to do his now. Okay. I'm changing the calendar up. Okay. Mr. Sanasfirian, if you will please come to the courtroom, and Mr. Amani, if you'll please have a seat in the chair. Yes. Sir, can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Nelson Cipriano, 5863.
Sir, you are here today because 1 warrant was issued when you failed to appear for a court date. An attorney was already appointed to represent you in this matter. You do have a status conference hearing on May 1st at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on May 5th at 8:30. You do have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $2,500. If you are able to post bond, you must appear for your court dates. Failure to do so would result in the forfeiture of any bond that you posted. A warrant would issue for your arrest and additional bonds to be imposed. That takes care of everything that I needed to advise you of this afternoon. If you have no questions for me regarding release conditions, if you'll please step to your left, the officer will take your paperwork.
Excuse me, so that's to get out, I have to be bailed out?
Yeah.
There's no proper way that you could probably fly past that because I
cannot, sir. The reason why you were here is that you were given the opportunity to appear for court and you didn't. And so a warrant was issued for your arrest with a bond to ensure that you will appear for court.
Yeah, but this time of year I was homeless at that time. Now I just recently picked up a job. I'm back on working. I'm staying at the shelter. I'm trying to do my best what I could do. And I don't have a vehicle to get back and forth from here to Mesa. And I was having a lot of problems at that time. And right now I'm
going to ask you to go ahead and have a seat. I'm going to think about it to see, because this is not my order. So I have to go and look at your case to see what happened to determine the bond as it was set. So if you'll just go ahead and have a seat, I'll call you back. Mr. Monty, will you please, come into the courtroom?
Good afternoon, Judge.
Hello, I'll be with you in just a moment. Okay, sir, can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Gary Monty, 13085.
You were here today on a new case. Are we having an issue with sound again?
It was the internet dropped, but we're
good? Okay. You were charged with one count of assault with intent to injure, a class 1 misdemeanor, one count of disorderly conduct, a class 1 misdemeanor. I did find probable cause as to both counts. I did appoint an attorney to represent you. You do have an arraignment hearing on April 30th at 1 p.m. You do have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $2,500. If you are able to post bond, you cannot return to the scene of the alleged crime. You cannot initiate any contact with the alleged victim. You cannot possess any weapons. If there are any orders of protection or orders against harassment, you must comply with those orders. You cannot reside at the same location as the alleged victim. You are permitted when civil standby with local law enforcement to assist you in collecting your essential belongings. If you violate the no victim contact order in this matter, you could be charged with aggravated harassment, a class 6 felony. Failure to comply with your release conditions or to appear for your court date would result in the forfeiture of any bond that you post, and the warrant would issue for your arrest and additional bond could be imposed. So that takes care of everything that I needed to advise you of today. If you have no questions for me regarding release, if you'll step to your left, officer.
I do, Your Honor. Seeing as this is my first charge, would you be able to release me on an OR bond so that I could go get my RV, move it out of that RV park, away from the situation that it entailed, and also so that I could get back to work? If I may explain.
You should not be talking about your case. I've appointed an attorney to represent you. I made my decision based on the information that I reviewed, as well as your criminal history. That is made available to me.
Yes, ma'am.
And so I do believe that a bond is appropriate here to ensure the safety of the victim, and to ensure that this matter moves about in the way that it should without any further incidences occurring. So I'm not inclined to reduce the bond at this time. It's $2,500 secured appearance. That is $250 plus collateral.
Yes, ma'am. I was the one that initially called the law enforcement officers to the scene.
So I'm just letting you know I'm not changing my mind.
Okay.
And you probably need to stop talking about it.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I've appointed an attorney to represent you, so any other information that you want to use for the purpose of your case, you provide that information to your attorney.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Baus, will you please come to the courtroom, and Miss Largo, if you'll please have a seat in the chair.
Braxton, right?
Yes.
Oh, yes, thanks, sir.
Can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Braxton Faust, 11/19/1994.
Thank you. You are here today on a new case. You were charged with one count of threatening and intimidating with threat of injury or property damage. and disorderly conduct involving fighting. Both of those are Class 1 misdemeanors, and I did find probable cause as to both counts. I did appoint an attorney to represent you. You will have an arraignment hearing on April 29th at 9 o'clock. You have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $2,500.
A what?
Secured appearance in the amount of $2,500.
Secured appearance? What's on that?
So may I complete my advisement to you? And do you remember at the beginning when I said hold your questions until I tell you all the information that you need to know?
That's fine.
Okay. So you cannot return to the scene of the alleged crime. You cannot initiate any contact with the alleged victim, and you cannot possess any weapons. If there are any orders of protection or orders against harassment, you must comply with those orders. You cannot reside with the victim. You are permitted 1 civil standby with local law enforcement to assist you in collecting your essential belongings. Please be advised that if you violate the no victim contact order in this case, you could be charged with aggravated harassment, which is a Class 6 felony. Failure to comply with your release conditions or to appear for your court date would result in the forfeiture of any bond that is posted. A secured appearance bond means that it's 10% plus collateral is what you would have to post in order to be released from custody.
So am I actually going to have to stay in jail then?
If you're not able to post bond, then you would be held until you'll have court on Tuesday.
Until the 29th?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't get an attorney until then? Because this is like, honestly, it's crazy. Like, the guy where I was,
okay,
the guy pulled a gun out on me.
Because I caught at the beginning, I said, do not talk about your case. Any legal arguments that you want to make, that's the information that you give to your attorney.
Well, I just don't understand how I can have to stay in jail over something like that when I did nothing wrong, especially over a Class 1 misdemeanor.
That you've done nothing wrong. I've made a probable cause.
Especially over a Class 1 misdemeanor.
Can we excuse Mr. Faust from the courtroom?
Well, I'm actually trying to work it out.
Ms. Sargo, will you please come into the courtroom? And Mr. Wayland, if you'll please have a seat in the chair. Hello, can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth? You are here today because a warrant was issued as a result of a violation of probation. I did appoint an attorney to represent you. You do have a probation revocation possible disposition hearing on May 2nd at 8:30. You do have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $500. If you are able to post bond, you do need to make sure you appear for your court date. If you fail to appear for your court date, any bond that you post would be forfeited. Another warrant would issue for your arrest, and additional bond would be imposed. This takes care of everything that I needed to advise you of today. If you have no questions for me regarding release conditions, if you will please step to your left, officer will give you your paperwork. Thank you. Mr. Wayland, will you please come into the courtroom? And Mr. Bailey, if you'll please have a seat in the chair. Hello, sir.
Hi, how you doing?
Can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Oh, yes, ma'am. Sorry. Jason Wayland, date of birth is 6/9/84. Sorry.
You were here today because a warrant was issued when you failed to appear for your court date.
Correct.
An attorney was already appointed to represent you in this matter. You have a status conference hearing on May 1st at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on May 5th at 8:30. The warrant had a secured appearance bond in the amount of $500. If you are able to post bond, you do need to make sure that you appear for court. Failure to do so would result in the forfeiture of any bond that you posted. Another warrant would issue for your arrest, and additional bond could be imposed. That takes care of everything that I needed to advise you this afternoon. If you have no questions for me, if you'll step to your left, officer will give you your paperwork. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Bailey, will you please come into the courtroom? And Mr. Gates, if you'll please have a seat in the chair. Hello, sir.
Hi.
Can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Clinton Bailey, 12/15/81.
Thank you. You were here this afternoon because a direct complaint was filed where you were charged with 2 counts of aggravated driving or actual physical control while under the influence of intoxicating liquor or drugs. Those are class 4 felonies alleged to have occurred on July 27th of 2023. I did appoint an attorney to represent you in this matter. You will have a status conference hearing on May 12th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on May 14th at 8:30. I am inclined to release you to pretrial services without bond, but you do have to promise to appear for those court dates.
Okay.
You promise to appear?
Yes, ma'am.
You do have to comply with your release conditions, which will include drug and alcohol testing and monitoring.
Yeah.
Failure to comply with your release conditions or to appear for your court dates will result in a warrant issuing for your arrest and a bond would be imposed.
Okay.
That takes care of everything that I needed to advise you of this afternoon. If you have no questions for me, if you will step to your left, the officer will give you your paperwork.
Did you say 2 counts?
No, just one. Yeah,
One?
I'm sorry, 2 counts.
2 counts.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Gates, will you please come to the courtroom? And Ms. Casey, if you'll please have a seat in the chair. Sir, can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Larry Gates, January 29, 1990.
You are here today on a new case. You were charged with 1 count of possession of a weapon by a prohibited person, 1 count of possession of a weapon used in a drug offense, 1 count of possession of a dangerous drug, a class 4 felony, and 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia, a class 6 felony. I did find probable cause as to all of the counts, and I did appoint an attorney to represent you. You do have a status conference hearing on May 12th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on May 14th at 8:30. I'm inclined to release you to pretrial services without bond today, but you do have to promise to appear for your court dates. Do you promise to appear for those court dates?
I promise.
Failure to appear for your court dates, as well as failure to comply with your release conditions, which include that you cannot return to the scene of the alleged crime and you cannot possess any weapons, will result in a warrant issuing for your arrest and a bond would be imposed. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so if you'll please step to your left, the officer will give you your paperwork. Thank you.
And I'll be able to go get released today?
I'm releasing you today without bond, just to pretrial services.
Very much.
Ms. Casey, will you please come into the courtroom? And Mr. Rubalcaba, if you'll please have a seat in the chair. Ma'am, can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Maggie Casey, 8/14/85.
You are here today on a new case. You were charged with 1 count of possession of a dangerous drug, a class 4 felony, and 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia, a class 6 felony. I did find probable cause as to the possession of dangerous drugs. I did not find probable cause as to the possession of drug paraphernalia. I did appoint an attorney to represent you. You will have a status conference hearing on May 12th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on May 14th at 8:30. I am inclined to release you to pretrial services. You do have to promise to appear for your court date. Do you promise to appear for your court date?
Yes.
Your release conditions I'm highlighting is that you cannot return to the scene of the alleged crime. You must comply with your release conditions and appear for your court date. Failure to do so will result in a warrant issuing for your arrest and a bond will be imposed. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay, that takes care of everything that I needed to advise you as. If you step to your left, the officer will give you your paperwork. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Rubalcaba, if you will please come into the courtroom, and Mr. Claw, if you will please have a seat in the chair.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good. Well, it's afternoon now.
Oh, good afternoon, Your Honor. I'm sorry.
Can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Johnny Ray Rubalcaba, 04/24/1992.
You are here today because a direct complaint was filed where you were charged with 1 count of possession of a narcotic drug, a class 4 felony, and 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia. Put your hand down.
Sorry.
1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia, a class 6 felony. The date of these alleged offenses is July 10th of 2024. I did appoint an attorney to represent you in this matter. You have a status conference hearing on May 12th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on May 14th at 8:30. I am inclined to release you on your own recognizance, but you do have to promise to appear for your court date. Do you promise to appear?
Yes.
Here's the thing. Just so you keep in mind, if you're ever in court again, if the judge tells you that they're going to release you, you really don't have to say anything else. Sometimes people talk themselves into a bond.
Right.
Okay? So you do have to, you cannot return to the scene of the alleged crime as one of your release conditions. There are a number of them that are reflected in your paperwork. Failure to comply with your release conditions or to appear for your court date will result in a warrant issuing for your arrest and a bond will be imposed.
Yes.
Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you will step to your left, the officer will give you your paperwork.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Claw, will you please come into the courtroom? And Mr. Entis, if you'll please have a seat in the chair.
Good afternoon, Judge.
Hello. Can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Monty Claw, October 4th, 1999.
You were here today because on a new case, you were charged with criminal trespass of a residential structure, a Class 6 felony. I did find probable cause. As to that offense, I did appoint an attorney to represent you. You have a status conference hearing on May 12th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on May 14th at 8:30. I am inclined to release you on your own recognizance today. You do have to promise to appear for your court dates. Do you promise to appear?
Yes, I do.
You have the following release conditions. You cannot return to the scene of the alleged crime. You cannot initiate any contact with the alleged victim. Failure to comply with your release conditions or to appear for your court dates will result in a warrant issuing for your arrest and a bond will be imposed. Do you understand?
Yes, I have a question about the release conditions.
Okay.
The residence is my apartment my apartment. Do I have to stay away from my house?
The alleged criminal trespass was not, according to the probable cause statement, was not your apartment.
It wasn't my apartment, it was someone else's? Okay.
According to the probable cause statement.
Okay, Your Honor.
Okay, so if you will please step to your left, the officer will give you your paperwork. Mr. Entis, will you please come into the courtroom? And Mr. Castillo, if you'll please have a seat in the chair. Sir, will you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Yes, Robert Entis, 9/19/1969.
You are here today on a new case. You were charged with 1 count of theft of means of transportation, a Class 3 felony, 1 count of possession of a dangerous drug, a Class 4 felony, and 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia, a Class 6 felony. I did find probable cause as to the theft of means of transportation and possession of drug paraphernalia. I did not find probable cause as to possession of a dangerous drug. I did appoint an attorney to represent you. You will have a status conference hearing on May 12th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on May 14th at 8:30. I am inclined to release you to pretrial services, but you do have to promise to appear for your court dates. Do you promise to appear? Failure to appear for your court dates or to comply with your release conditions, which include having you cannot return to the scene of the alleged crime and you cannot have any contact with the alleged victims. Failure to comply with your release conditions or to appear for your court dates will result in a warrant issuing for your arrest and a bond will be imposed. Do you understand? Okay, so if you will please step to your left, the officer will give you your paperwork. Thank you. Mr. Castillo, will you please come into the courtroom? And Mr. Jose Ramirez, if you'll please have a seat in the chair. Hello, sir. Can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Yeah, it's Omar Castillo.
You're here today on a warrant that was issued out of Goodyear Municipal Court. Due to the nature of the charge, you're not entitled to court-appointed counsel. You do have an arraignment hearing on May 14th at 1 o'clock. I'm inclined to release you on your own recognizance. You do have to promise to appear for your court date. Do you promise to appear?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Failure to appear for your court date will result in another warrant issuing for your arrest and a bond would likely be imposed. From what I can tell from the warrant, this is an issue of failing to pay whatever fines, fees and fines that accumulated out of the original charge. You should make sure you go to court because they can work out something for you. But if you don't go to court, warrants will just keep issuing.
I have a quick question. Does it show a balance at all? Because I was paying it through...
I don't know what your balance is.
I was paying it through AZ Court Pay, and the amount never changed. And I called the court, and they said that they're not... The balances are not reflected in there anymore. And so I thought I had paid it off.
I'm not able to see that because this is South Mountain. I'm sorry, not South Mountain. This is Goodyear Municipal Court.
Yes, ma'am.
So I am not able to see into their system, so I don't know what transactions were made or not. But that's why you should just go to court and take all the information that you need to have so that everything can get sorted out.
Yeah.
Okay? That's it. If you'll step to your left, the officer will give you your paperwork. Mr. Ramirez, will you please come into the courtroom? And Ms. Baer, if you'll please have a seat in the chair. Hello, sir. Can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Jose Ramirez, June 30th, 1986.
You are here today on a new case. You were charged with 1 count of possession of a dangerous drug, a class 4 felony, and 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia, a class 6 felony. I did not find probable cause as to possession of the dangerous drug. I did find probable cause as to possession of drug paraphernalia. I did appoint an attorney to represent you. You will have a status conference hearing on May 12th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on May 14th at 8:30. I'm inclined to release you to pretrial services, but you do have to promise to appear for your court dates. Do you promise to appear?
Yes, ma'am.
Failure to appear for your court dates or to comply with your release conditions will result in a warrant issuing for your arrest and a bond will be imposed. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that takes care of everything that I needed to tell you this afternoon.
Thank you.
Ms. Baer, will you please come to the courtroom? And Mr. Acosta, if you'll please have a seat in the chair. Ma'am, can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Brianna Barr, 41094.
You are here today on 2 matters. You have 1 new case and then a violation of probation was submitted. On the new case, you were charged with 1 count of possession of a dangerous drug, a class 4 felony, 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia, a class 6 felony, and 1 count of shoplifting, a class 1 misdemeanor.
Okay.
I did find probable causes to all counts. I did appoint an attorney to represent you. You do have a status conference hearing on May 12th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on May 14th at 8:30. I am inclined to release you to pretrial services. You do have to promise to appear for your court dates. Do you promise to appear?
Yes, I do.
As to your violation of probation, I did appoint an attorney to represent you in that matter. You will have a probation revocation possible disposition hearing on May 2nd at 8:30. I am going to release you on your own recognizance.
Thank you.
You do have to promise to appear for that court date.
Of course.
You have the following release conditions. You cannot return to the scene of the alleged crime. You cannot initiate any contact with the alleged victims, and you do need to contact your probation officer within 72 hours of your release. I need for you to look at me because when making a decision on what to do today and whether or not to impose the bond, you were just placed on probation earlier this month.
Yeah, I know. And I see her on Monday too, so like.
Yeah, but this alleged offense happened a couple weeks later.
Sorry.
So, I'm just letting you know, like, you're getting another chance, but there's going to come a point in time where you run out of chances.
I understand that.
So if you fail to appear for your court dates or comply with your release conditions, a warrant will issue for your arrest and bond will be imposed. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, if you please step to your left, the officer will give you your paperwork. Are you having a problem?
Yeah, the internet dropped again, so we're waiting for it to load again. Is yours working? It was recording the whole time, it's just letting me.
Yeah, I'm out. It says we're currently offline, so we have to wait?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, I'm in on Teams, and it looks like the recorder is in. Okay, so we can go on? Okay. Mr. Acosta, if you'll please come into the courtroom. And Mr. Madrano, if you'll please have a seat in the chair. Sir, can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Alex Acosta, 12/21/2006.
You are here today on a new case. You are charged with 1 count of unlawful flight from law enforcement, a class 5 felony, 1 count of reckless driving, a class 1 misdemeanor, 1 count of racing or exhibition of speed, a class 1 misdemeanor, and 1 count of exceeding the posted speed limit by at least 20 miles per hour or more, a class 3 misdemeanor. I did find probable cause as to the reckless driving, exceeding the posted speed limit, and racing or exhibition of speed. I did not find probable cause as to the unlawful flight from law enforcement. I did appoint an attorney to represent you in this matter. You do have a status conference hearing on May 12th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on May 14th at 8:30. I'm inclined to release you to pretrial services, but I want to have a little chat with you, Mr. Acosta. I did have an opportunity to review your history. And my recollection is that you were seen recently on a reckless driving matter earlier this year in January.
Yes, Your Honor.
So you were charged initially the unlawful flight from law enforcement. That is a felony offense. Just because I didn't find probable cause today does not mean that they cannot move forward with the charging. The state can present supplemental information at a later date to charge you with that.
Yes.
Now you're going into the felony realm of things. I was very concerned by the dangerousness of your behavior when I reviewed in your probable cause statement, that coupled with the fact that you were just seen for dangerous driving in January. So I don't know what it's going to take. And so I'm weighing, do I need to impose a bond or not? Because you're continuing to show a lack of concern or safety in the community and for yourself. So I am giving you this last opportunity to be released to pretrial services. You will need to comply with release conditions, and you do need to appear for your court date. Do you promise to appear?
Yes, Your Honor, but
No buts?
no, it's still on May 12th and May 14th.
You're going to get your paperwork.
Okay.
So failure to comply with your release conditions or to appear for your court date will result in a warrant issuing for your arrest and a bond being imposed. If you step to your left, the officer is going to give you your paperwork, which will include all the information that I just reviewed with you, including your court dates.
Thank you.
Are we on again?
No. Did you want to do the interpreter matter now, since we have the internet still going, before it kicks us off?
Yeah, do we have the interpreter ready?
Not yet, but I'll call it and then we can do after the next meeting.
Okay. Mr. Medrano, if you will please come into the courtroom. Sir, can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Adrian Medrano, February 25th of 2002.
Sir, you were here on a new case. You were charged with 1 count of reckless driving, a class 1 misdemeanor, and 1 count of exceeding the posted speed limit by 20 miles per hour or more. I did find probable cause as to both charges. Due to the nature of the offense, you are not entitled to court-appointed counsel. You will have an arraignment hearing on May 15th at 8:30. I am going to release you on your own recognizance today. You do have to promise to appear for your court date. Do you promise to appear?
Yes, Your Honor.
Failure to comply with your release conditions or appear for your court date will result in a warrant issuing for your arrest and a bond would be imposed. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, if you'll please step to your left, the officer will give you your paperwork. We're trying to call the interpreter now while we have, do you want me to just keep going with the calendar?
Parents, grandparents, and legal guardians need to be added to the approved list for in-person visits. To request visitation authorization, please contact the assigned probation officer. Detention visitation takes place every Saturday and Sunday, organized by
Your Honor, just for my record, who is the LEC?
Oh, that is, Arison, Kid Arison.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Sure.
Yeah, your Chiquis interpreter. Well. Yes, can you hear me? Okay, and you're a Chiquis interpreter, correct? Okay, hold on, okay?
is the interpreter able to hear the court?
Yes, this is the interpreter. I'm able to hear you.
Thank you so much. Madam Interpreter, the next matter that I'm calling, we will need your assistance. Mr. Esteron, will you please come into the courtroom? Sir, can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Last name,
Okay, this is April 3rd, 96.
My name is Esteron, April 3rd, 1996.
Sir, do you require the assistance of the interpreter?
I need interpreter. Jackie.
I do need interpreter.
Okay. You are here for two matters. You have a violation of probation warrant.
Probation.
And a direct complaint.
I
am first going to review the direct complaint with you. You were charged with 2 counts of aggravated driving or actual physical control.
While
under the influence of intoxicating liquor or drugs. A class 4 felony. The date of these alleged offenses is September 19th, 2024. I did appoint an attorney to represent you. You have a status conference hearing on May 1st at 8:30. You have a preliminary hearing on May 5th at 8:30. You have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $500. As to your violation of probation,
probation.
I did appoint an attorney to represent you in that matter. You have a probation revocation, possible disposition hearing.
Mitor obura orogorogen arepe usurgeita obo probation epokatara ferita obura ta nukurbi orra orogoro ferita.
On May 2nd,
epo fisveiru
at 8:30.
Parwaru sabutsak necessor.
That warrant had a secured appearance bond.
Peravi parorre meben au kopotori kobusu bond
in the amount of $1,000.
Era iwe overrutara.
The court makes a record regarding the direct complaint and the setting of bond in that matter.
Iwe kobu apa recorteroi era kogur fidetara abura beber abu poto ve karafosu ororogan.
The defendant was seen at the beginning of 2024 for a DUI, an aggravated DUI offense.
Wherever recura atayo nucleiden usaka uotarak.
Shortly thereafter,
Murera Faso.
According to the date of the allegation in this matter, the defendant was charged with another aggravated DUI.
And kapan aser paror para raot pateteniratayan usutakara.
The court has concerns regarding this defendant's safety in the community.
Kapag efisyan usur nokus igabon ebotorior siyang seruk never ngeri araba seriana ke kananoyan.
To the degree that the court believes that a bond was necessary.
Orang-orang dapat air virku purviotia ada potokoro niwirin epo kabati momorok potori buso.
If the defendant is able to post bond,
ikaita pun potori obusati keberati veterani pirin era rekara bond.
He will be released to pretrial services.
Itu pergi boso, evo pernah geriera taking rekarita di pretrial services rekarita di year bo morar so officer kabu,
where he will participate in alcohol and drug testing.
Ira pues error por kapakar riaga gerbe kisa pategi igervi kusaka no trucks nor fosoro kauso.
Failure to comply with release conditions.
No por fosor que patai que onuk irviafata
will result in the forfeiture of any bond that is posted.
Mito oriara puede atayro barabaran que oburi que obusati o que obuso karaitar bond.
A warrant will issue for your arrest.
Ibira repo para orra karatorro buen rekarara warrant a repo kutebe repo arresiri.
Additional bond could be imposed.
Yeve ya a para que siwin e kogur fide tara bond e bukaboti o kabutori buso.
This completes or concludes my advisement to you, sir.
Ira butsuron metara kapasen if it's very top.
Please step to your left.
Yeah,
the officer will give you your paperwork. Thank you.
Thank you for using our service. Have a good day.
Thank you. Mr. Valencia, will you please come to the courtroom? And Mr. Anthony Rodriguez, will you please have a seat in the chair? Sir, can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Andres Valencia, 060504.
You are here today on a new case. You were charged with 1 count of unlawful flight from law enforcement, a class 4 felony, 1 count of criminal damage, a class 4 felony, and 1 count of reckless driving, a class 2 misdemeanor. I did find probable cause as to all 3 counts, and I did appoint an attorney to represent you. You do have a status conference hearing on May 12th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on May 14th at 8:30. I am going to release you to pretrial services, but you do have to promise to appear for your court dates. Do you promise to appear?
Yes, sir.
You also must comply with the release conditions. Failure to comply with your release conditions or appear for your court dates will result in a warrant issuing for your arrest and bond being imposed. Do you understand?
Understood, yeah.
If you will please step to your left, the officer will give you your paperwork. Thank you. Mr. Rodriguez, will you please come into the courtroom? And Mr. Avina, if you'll please have a seat in the chair. Hello, sir. Can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Anthony Rodriguez, 11/26/86.
You are here today on 2 matters. You have 1 new case and you have a direct complaint. So I'm going to first talk about your new case. You were charged with 1 count of possession of a narcotic drug, a class 4 felony, and 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia, a class 6 felony. I did find probable cause as to both counts, and I did appoint an attorney to represent you. As to the direct complaint, you were charged with 1 count of possession of narcotic drugs, a class 4 felony. The date of the alleged offense is October 5th, 2023. I appointed an attorney to represent you in that matter as well. As to both matters, you will have a status conference hearing on May 12th. Yes, as to both matters, you will have a status conference hearing on May 12th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on May 14th at 8:30. I'm inclined to release you on your own recognizance on both matters. You do have to promise to appear for those court dates. Do you promise to appear?
Yes.
There are some release conditions that you must comply with, including you cannot return to the scene of the alleged crime. Failure to comply with your release conditions or to appear for your court dates will result in warrants issuing for your arrest and a bond would be imposed. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay, that takes care of everything I needed to advise you of. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Avina, will you please come into the courtroom?
Avina. Who's Avina?
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Hello. Can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Nikolai Avena, September 26, 2003.
You are here today because you were charged on a new case where you were charged with driving with a license that is suspended, revoked, or canceled, a class 1 misdemeanor. I did find probable cause as to that count. Due to the nature of the charge, you are not entitled to court-appointed counsel. You do have an arraignment hearing on May 15th at 8:30. I am going to release you on your own recognizance today. You do have to promise to appear for your court date. Do you promise to appear?
Yes, ma'am.
Failure to appear for your court date will result in a warrant issuing for your arrest and a bond will be imposed. That takes care of everything that I needed to advise you of today. If you will please step to your left, the officer will review your paperwork. I'm just taking a moment. I just needed to review something for the next matter that I'm going to call. Martha for Mr. Anna Cyprian. I made some changes to that order, so you need to reprint it. I'm gonna call that one now. Officer, for the matter that we're calling now, we are reprinting the order for Mr. Anna Cyprian.
What's the booking number?
G174900. I didn't finish his IA. I hope he hasn't been moved. I told him I was going to recall the case. Did they give him the order? Mr. Santa Cyprian, are you still in the court? I didn't finish. I'd asked him to I was going to recall it. Miss Lene Knight, will you please come into the courtroom? So can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Lene Knight, 04/16/1976.
You are here today on two matters. You have one new case, and then there is a warrant for you as a fugitive of justice. I am going to first review with you the new case. You were charged with one count. Are you able to hear, or do you need assistance? You can hear, okay? No, if you can't, we can help you.
I can hear you.
Okay. You were charged with one count of fraudulent schemes or artifices, a Class 2 felony. One count of theft or control of property, a Class 4 felony. One count of forgery or written instrument, a Class 4 felony. And one count of taking the identity of another, a Class 4 felony. I did find probable cause as to all four counts, and I did appoint an attorney to represent you. You do have a status conference hearing on May 1st at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on May 5th at 8:30. You have a cash-only bond in the amount of $25,000. The court makes a record that there was a concern regarding the defendant being a high flight risk, as there's the next matter includes a extradition warrant from Florida. If you're able to post bond, you cannot return to the scene of the alleged crime. You cannot initiate any contact with the alleged victim, and you cannot have any contact with the alleged co-defendant. Failure to comply with your release conditions or appear for your court dates will result in a forfeiture of any bond that you posted. I do need to ask you, prior to coming into this hearing, were you given the information regarding extradition?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to move into that matter now. You do have a right to an extradition hearing, and you do have the right to bond in this matter. You do have the right to hire your own attorney. One would not be appointed to you because this matter is civil in nature. Extradition requires the warrant to be signed by the governor of Arizona and the governor of Florida. That process can take between 60 and 90 days to be completed. If you do not want to go through that process, you do have the right to waive the extradition process. If you choose to do that, you would not be entitled to bond. The state of Florida would have 30 days from tomorrow to come pick you up. That the 30 days would not, if you have any local matters pending, and I am aware you have a new case, so the 30 days in your instance would not start until after your case that you have here is resolved. I don't know what you'd like to do today. If you are requesting an extradition hearing, and if you are, that hearing will be, the initial hearing would be on May 5th at 1:30, and that bond would be a secured appearance bond in the amount of $75,000.
I have a question. Okay, so you said Mayfield, then that bond would be $75,000, and then the bond for Arizona is
$25,000 in cash.
Cash? I don't have it with me. There's like, because these charges, well, I know you said don't talk about the case, but maybe the lawyer can get this, some of this dismissed, because, like, these charges.
Ma'am, I would just encourage you to not speak any further. I'm telling you the information that I reviewed. I made a probable cause finding that those allegations are more likely to be true than not. So what I can do today for your fugitive of justice, so you have time to think about what you want to do, because if you choose to waive today and then you want to change your mind later, you won't have the opportunity to do that. So if I indicate that you're not waiving any of your rights today, that'll give you time to think about what you want to do, and you will have a court date on May 5th. And then if you decide to change your mind at that time, then you can tell the judge that will be hearing your matter regarding the fugitive of justice matter only, what you want to do if you're not sure how you want to proceed.
Maybe what I want to do with the Florida case.
Yeah, the one with the Florida case. Is that how you'd like to proceed?
Yes, because I don't want to sign. I don't want to sign. I need to talk to my family to see,
Okay. So then you will have a fugitive of justice initial hearing on May 5th at 1:30 with a secured appearance bond of $75,000. So that's 10% plus collateral for that one. That takes care of everything that I needed to advise you of today, and I think that I've answered all the questions that you have already. So if you will step to your left, the officer will be here. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Lamb, will you please come into the courtroom? Hello, sir.
Hi.
Can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Marlene C, 2282.
You are here for two matters. You have one new case, and then there is a warrant with you as a fugitive of justice. I'm going to first talk to you about your new case. You were charged with one count of possession of a dangerous drug, a Class 4 felony, one count of possession of drug paraphernalia, a Class 6 felony, and one count of obstruction, refusing to give your true name, a Class 2 misdemeanor, and one count of criminal trespass, a Class 3 misdemeanor. I did find probable cause as to all of the counts, and I did appoint an attorney to represent you. You have a status conference hearing on May 1st at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on May 5th at 8:30. You have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $50. It's really just a placeholder because of the fugitive of justice matter that we're going to move into right now. Did you have an opportunity to review the paperwork regarding extradition? Okay. So you do have the right to have an extradition hearing, and you would be entitled to bond in this matter. You can hire an attorney at your own expense. One would not be appointed to you because this is a matter that's civil in nature, not criminal. Extradition requires a governor's warrant to be signed by both the governor here in Arizona and the governor, I believe it's Washington. Yep, the state of Washington. That process can take between 60 and 90 days to be completed. You do have the right to waive those rights and waive an extradition hearing. If you choose to do that, you would not be entitled to bond. And the issuing state, which would be Washington, they would have 30 days to pick you up In your instance, the 30 days would not start until the conclusion of your new case. Then the 30 days would start. I'm not sure how you would like to proceed. I will tell you that if you choose not to waive your rights, you would have a hearing. Your initial hearing would be on May 5th, and you have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $75,000 for the FOJ matter. So I'm not sure what you'd like to do. Do you know how you would like to proceed? So what I'm going to do today is just indicate that you're not waiving any rights, and that'll give you some time to think about it. And then when you see the judge on your fugitive of justice warrant on May 5th, then perhaps you will know how you would like to proceed. So that takes care of everything that I have to advise you of today. If you will step to your left, the officer will give you your paperwork. Were we able to get him back? Do we have Mr. Santa Ciprian yet?
No, Your Honor. And just to clarify, Wilbert Jackson, number 20 and 31, he wasn't one you wanted to review, because that was the one I had no review.
So I put him last due to the nature. I need the courtroom to be cleared for his.
Okay. Copy. I'm going to update. Well, look at that count. Any update on inmate 900?
So that is all right.
2 minutes, Your Honor.
Pardon me?
2 minutes.
Okay, and can we start clearing out?
Yes.
Oh, I guess you need somebody to come help you clear out. Sorry. Sorry.
I have like paperwork. Perfect. Did you want to do the holding study?
So, Mr. Hart, date of birth, September 23rd, 1987. He is not present in court today. Do we know why he's a house call? Do we know why Mr. Hart is a house call?
It looks like he was aggressive with the arresting agency.
Mr. Hart could not participate in person due to combative behavior. He is here as a fugitive of justice. He will have an initial hearing on May 5th at 1:30. He does have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $40,000. I will meet with him, and if any changes are needed, I will do so either on the record or in writing. To go back and review your case history.
Yes.
You have been on warrant status since October of 24. It looks like you are still in. The reason why it appears as though the bond was set in the manner that it was set was that you were pending early disposition, and then you didn't show up to court. I'm reducing the bond to $500. If you fail to appear for your court date after you post that bond, another warrant is going to be issued, and then the original bond amount will likely be affirmed. But I cannot release you OR or on pretrial services due to the status of your case.
I understand, ma'am.
Okay, so we have, do you have his, okay. So the officer just, okay, so we have a, okay. Go for the law. Wilbert Jackson, 897. Oh, they took him out too? Yeah. Oh my God. Sorry, Your Honor. Okay. All right. Clarify, $500 updated.
Don't have the number here. Yeah, that's yeah.
I'll take it out and I'll bring the other one in.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hello, Mr. Jackson. Can you please state your first and last name for me?
Wilbur Jackson Jr.,
And your date of birth?
12/21/67.
You are here today on two matters. You have one new case and then you have a violation of probation. On your new case, you were charged with 2 counts of aggravated assault on a minor, a class 6 felony. I did find probable cause as to both counts. I did appoint an attorney to represent you. You have a status conference hearing on May 1st at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on May 5th at 8:30. You have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $75,000. Secured appearance, 10% plus collateral. You cannot return to the scene of the alleged crime. You cannot initiate any contact with the alleged victims, and you cannot have any contact with any minor children. You cannot possess any weapons. You must contact your probation officer within 72 hours of your release. Then, as to your violation of probation, I appointed an attorney to represent you in that matter. You have a probation revocation possible disposition hearing on May 2nd at 8:30. I did give you a secured appearance bond in the amount of $50 in that matter as a placeholder.
$50,000?
No, $50. Failure to comply with your release conditions or to appear for your court dates would result in the forfeiture of any bond that you post. A warrant would issue for your arrest. An additional bond could be imposed. Your total secured appearance bond is $75,050 between the two cases. So that takes care of everything that I needed to advise you of today.
May I ask a question?
Do you not ask questions about the facts itself? You're wanting to know why I put your bond $75,000?
I ain't murdered nobody. That's a killer's bond, ain't it?
No, it's not.
$75,000?
$75,000 secured appearance for aggravated assault on 2 minor children.
2 minor children?
So that we're done. I'm done answering questions.
But man, we was in a swimming pool, swimming. What am I?
Stop talking about your case.
I'm sorry, man. No disrespect. I got to be $75,000 that jail. Get out of jail.
I'll go back to that.
Will you let me know when,